Chapter 92. Originally, Jean Gang wanted to pretend that he didn't see anything and walked past Yang Ming. He didn't expect Yang Ming to speak first. Teacher Jean. So early. Early. Jean Gang said perfunctorily. He didn't want to talk too much with Yang Ming. Are you trying to curry favor again? Yang Ming said sarcastically. Fuck. Jean Gang held back his anger. He really wanted to beat up Yang Ming, but he didn't dare. Let's not talk about whether he was Yang Ming's opponent. Even if he beat Yang Ming, if he took the opportunity to complain to the principal, then he would suffer. Oh, don't forget my bicycle. I've been walking to school these days. After you buy it, you can directly send the key to my class. You don't have to be polite. Yang Ming said with a smile. Jean Gang's face was green with anger. Good, you're really good. You can be arrogant for a few more days. After a few days, when you're hospitalized, you won't be so cocky anymore. Yang Ming came to the class and saw that Chen Mengyan was already there. He smiled at her. Chen Mengyan also saw Yang Ming. Her face turned red, then she lowered her head and continued to read. Zhang Bin, what are you studying? Yang Ming patted Zhang Bin's shoulder, scaring him. Yang Ming, you scared me. I thought class leader Li was here. Zhang Bin saw that it was Yang Ming. He raised the thing in his hand and said, I brought a game console, NDSL. Why did you bring this? Yang Ming asked curiously. Aren't we watching a movie in the afternoon? It's not interesting, so I brought the game console. How about it? Sit with me. Let's play together. Zhang Bin said. If you want to watch a movie, just watch a movie. Why are you playing games? Yang Ming was puzzled. Hey! What kind of good movie can the school organize? It must be some old movies. Zhang Bin said with a look of disdain. Maybe it's a blockbuster. It's hard to say. Yang Ming shook his head. He didn't believe that the free movie organized by the school would be good. I don't even watch blockbusters. I've seen all the recent blockbusters on the internet. Oh right, you should buy an NDSL too. We can play a lot of games online. Zhang Bin said. Forget it, I'm not interested in playing games, Yang Ming said. In the afternoon, the entire senior year of high school marched towards the Workers' Cultural Palace. There were no cars, so they could only walk. However, this place was not very far from number 4 high school. In order not to reveal anything, Yang Ming and Chen Mengyan did not walk together on the way to the Cultural Palace. Chen Mengyan walked with a very nice girl, while Yang Ming walked with Zhang Bin. After entering the cinema, Yang Ming looked for Chen Mengyan. Yang Ming, sit here. It's close to the door. It's convenient to leave. Zhang Bin pointed to 2 empty seats. I'm not sitting here. I'm looking for someone. Yang Ming shook his head. Looking for someone. Zhang Bin was stunned. Suddenly, he showed an ambiguous smile. At this moment, Chen Mengyan was also searching for Yang Ming in the dark crowd. Mengyan, what are you looking at? Chen Mengyan's good friend, Li Changyuan asked. Looking for someone, Chen Mengyan replied. Looking for someone. Oh. Hee, I know. Li Changyuan also showed an ambiguous expression. At this time, Yang Ming saw Chen Mengyan. Chen Mengyan also saw Yang Ming. The two of them waved at each other and smiled at each other. Everything was in silence. Yang Ming squeezed toward Chen Mengyan. Chen Mengyan picked a 4-person seat and sat down. Chen Mengyan just sat down. A student from another class sat next to Chen Mengyan. This guy was called Lu Tao. He was one of the ruthless people in the school. He was involved in fights. He was one of the more powerful people in the school. Whether it was in a good school or a bad school, there were some more ruthless students. They were similar to the school boss. These people often didn't want to go to university. They just came to get a diploma. They didn't usually go to class. They often gathered together, smoking and fighting. If there was any conflict between classes, it was usually better to find them to solve it. Both sides would give face. And Lu Tao was such a person. He also had some feelings for Chen Mengyan. It was just that he didn't have much contact with her. This time, there was a rare opportunity. Lu Tao naturally wouldn't let it go. There is someone here. Chen Mengyan frowned. Someone. Let him go sit aside. Lu Tao said indifferently. Before Chen Mengyan could speak, a thug grabbed Lu Tao's back collar and pulled him up. Fuck. Lu Tao just wanted to get angry. He turned around and saw that it was Yang Ming. His face changed immediately. Brother Yang, are you looking for me? You asked me to go aside. Do you think there is a problem? Yang Ming scolded in his heart. You look like a fat pig. You want to pick up Chen Mengyan. Dream on. This is Brother Yang's seat. I don't know. Then I will go. Lu Tao said quickly. If he was the ruthless person in the school, then Yang Ming was the ruthless person among the ruthless people. It was just that in the later part of high school, Yang Ming was much quieter. The position of the ruthless person was gradually replaced by Li Dagong. But Li Dagong was also Yang Ming's man. Lu Tao couldn't afford to offend any of these people. Don't harass my wife in the future. Or else, you will have to bear the consequences. Yang Ming looked at Lu Tao and said fiercely. Wife? After Chen Mengyan heard it, her face turned red. She didn't expect Yang Ming to say that. However, Chen Mengyan was a smart girl. She knew that she couldn't refute at this time. If she refuted, Yang Ming's face would be lost. So, Chen Mengyan kept silent. With her silence, Zhang Bin and Li Changyuan looked at each other. These two people really did have an affair. When Lu Tao heard it, the famous girl already had a master, and this master was Yang Ming. He immediately dispelled the idea of competing and left resentfully to find the next target. Helplessly, he was delayed here for a while. Most of the people were already seated. Yang Ming, what are you talking about? After Lu Tao left, Chen Mengyan complained with dissatisfaction. If I didn't say that, he would still pester you in the future. Yang Ming explained. But you can't talk nonsense. What if he tells others? Chen Mengyan was a little worried. He dares. Yang Ming said with disdain. Zhang Bin and Li Changyuan looked at the two of them ambiguously. You two are already together. Why are you afraid of others talking about it? What are you looking at? Chen Mengyan couldn't stand this wretched gaze. Nothing. I'm just curious. Both of you did a good job of keeping secrets. Li Changyuan looked at Yang Ming and said. Yeah, Yang Ming, you're wrong. Why did you hide it from your brother? Zhang Bin also looked at Chen Mengyan sneakily. We're not. Chen Mengyan just wanted to explain, but Yang Ming said, Mengyan hasn't promised me yet. Chen Mengyan sweated. With your explanation, it's over. Forget it. Anyway, the college entrance examination is coming. I'm not afraid of what others say. Chen Mengyan made up her mind and thought. Oh. I understand. Zhang Bin and Li Changyuan nodded at the same time, showing a look of realization. They thought that the relationship between the two of them was basically confirmed. Maybe it was just that Chen Mengyan didn't want to admit it because of her face. Eat, eat. Chen Mengyan couldn't stand these two guys. She took out the delicious food that she bought yesterday from her backpack. What did you bring? It's such a big bag. Yang Ming took Chen Mengyan's bag strangely. Did you bring the sanitary pads that you bought yesterday? Zhang Bin and Li Changyuan's sensitive ears were stunned at the same time. Sure enough, these two people still have secrets. Could it be that they are already living together? Or else, they bought sanitary pads together? Chen Mengyan was helpless. She stared at Yang Ming and whispered, Yang Ming, you did it deliberately, right? Are you afraid that others don't know about our relationship? Hee, sorry, it was a slip of the tongue, a slip of the tongue. Yang Ming smiled. Slip of the tongue. Let me tell you, Yang Ming, do you know what it means to be in the opposite direction? If you want me to hate you, you can do it like this. Chen Mengyan said with some anger. Although she had a good impression of Yang Ming, Chen Mengyan was a person with strong principles. If she didn't go to university, she was determined not to break the window paper. Even if the relationship between the two of them was close, everything had to wait until after the National Higher Education Entrance Examination. Yang Ming listened to Chen Mengyan's words and was stunned. Indeed, he seemed to be a little carried away during this period of time. He naturally put Chen Mengyan in the position of his girlfriend. Especially after the scene on the bus and in the supermarket yesterday, the relationship between the two of them quickly became closer. It could be said that they were only one step away from confessing to each other. Therefore, Yang Ming was somewhat unscrupulous today. But Chen Mengyan's words made Yang Ming suddenly wake up. Yes, Chen Mengyan had already said that she had to go to university before thinking about the relationship. I was really anxious. Thinking of this, Yang Ming said with some depression, I'm sorry, Mengyan. I didn't mean it. I just couldn't help it. Chapter 93. Okay, I understand. Chen Mengyan said faintly. Zhang Bin saw Yang Ming and Chen Mengyan whispering in each other's ears. He couldn't help but laugh. Ha! What are you whispering about? Why are you whispering so softly? You don't want me and Li Changyuan to hear. Nothing. Yang Ming shook his head. Zhang Bin felt a bit strange. What happened to Yang Ming? But he didn't take it to heart. After that, Yang Ming's mood was a bit down. He sat there quietly and didn't say a word. Chen Mengyan also knew that her words seemed to be a bit harsh. Yang Ming wouldn't have any thoughts, right? Chen Mengyan was worried that Yang Ming's studies would be affected because of this, so she was a bit uneasy. Sure enough, as Zhang Bin expected, the cinema showed a very old film called Skater Dream Team. It was a youth film that inspired people's fighting spirit. However, Yang Ming had already seen it on TV. He was in his third year of high school and the National College Entrance Examination was coming soon. It was understandable to show such a film, but it was a bit too old. After a while, Zhang Bin picked up the game console and started playing. After a while, he was so engrossed that he didn't even see the potato chips that Yang Ming gave him. As for Li Changyuan, after watching the movie for a while, she felt that it was boring and fell asleep. The third year of high school was one of the most difficult days of life. Many students lacked sleep, so the entire cinema was filled with a drowsy atmosphere. At a glance, not many people were watching the movie seriously. In Yang Ming's row, only Yang Ming and Chen Mengyan were staring at the screen with their own thoughts. It was unknown if they were really watching the movie. At least, Yang Ming was a bit absent-minded. Yang Ming, are you okay there? Chen Mengyan broke the silence and took the initiative to find a topic. Since he had touched Yang Ming, it was necessary to show some concern. Oh. Yang Ming stared blankly for a moment, then sighed, AI. What's wrong? Chen Mengyan was nervous when she saw Yang Ming like this. I really have to say goodbye to taking a plane in the future, Yang Ming said with a sad face. He had thought about it all night and came up with a very dirty idea. He was going to implement it during the movie today. Therefore, Yang Ming was waiting for Chen Mingyan's words. Ah. What's going on? Yang Ming, what happened to you? Chen Mengyan didn't really understand, but she was sure that the problem was very serious. Yesterday, Chen Mengyan deliberately found the Women's Anti-Pervert teaching material to inquire about the consequences of a man being hit. It was clearly written in the book that if it was serious, it could cause a man's sexual dysfunction, such as impotence, premature ejaculation, inability to get an erection, and even loss of fertility. Chen Mengyan was shocked when she saw it. She regretted her actions during the day. Ai. Yang Ming pretended to be in pain, but he was happy in his heart. It seemed that Chen Mengyan was going to take the bait soon. Yang Ming, don't scare me. Chen Mengyan was a little excited. Her voice was slightly louder. She was so scared that she quickly covered her mouth. She looked around. Fortunately, other than Zhang Bin, who was engrossed in playing the NDSL game, the others were sleeping. Chen Mingyan's voice also pulled Yang Ming back to reality. He suddenly thought of what Chen Mengyan just said to him, when things reach an extreme, they will go in the opposite direction. The flame of desire in his heart was suddenly extinguished. Forget it. It's fine. Yang Ming shook his head. Chen Mengyan saw Yang Ming's hesitant look. She felt that Yang Ming must have something. He must be hiding something from her. Chen Mengyan couldn't be assured. She quickly asked, Yang Ming, tell me. It's really fine. Yang Ming shook his head. He thought, Mengyan, don't tempt me again. I just calmed down. No, you must have something. You can't lie to me. Chen Mengyan said anxiously, Yang Ming, who are we? What is there to hide? Who are we? These words were too ambiguous. Yang Ming's heart skipped a beat when he heard it. You forced me to say this, Mengyan. If you know the truth in the future, don't blame me. Yang Ming clenched his teeth and pretended to be very sad. He said, after I went home last night, it didn't hurt much, but I found another problem. What problem? Chen Mengyan asked quickly. After that, I watched an adult film for a while. Yang Ming was afraid that Chen Mengyan didn't understand, so he explained, and it was that kind of film. But my lower part didn't have any reaction at all. Ah. Chen Mengyan wasn't a child. Of course, she knew what Yang Ming meant by no reaction. Could it be that it was like what the book Women's Protection Against Perverts said, that he was impotent? Ah. Really? Chen Mingyan's voice changed. No reaction at all. And it wasn't hard at all. Yang Ming nodded. Then what should we do? Chen Mingyan's voice had a hint of crying. Do you want me to accompany you to the hospital to check it out? It's useless. Yang Ming shook his head. Unless, forget it, it's nothing. Unless what? Chen Mengyan said in a hurry, Yang Ming, tell me. Unless what? No, I'm just talking nonsense. Yang Ming wanted to say something, but he stopped. Yang Ming, you say it quickly. If you don't say it, I'll be angry. Chen Mengyan pretended to be angry. Actually, I read on the internet that the best way to treat a man's impotence is. Yang Ming paused. What? You say it quickly. I'm so anxious. Chen Mengyan asked with a frown. That is, let the woman he likes help him. Yang Ming whispered in Chen Mengyan's ear. Is it really okay? After Chen Mengyan heard it, her face turned red. She asked with some uncertainty. And that's what the internet said, but forget it, it's not fair to you. Yang Ming had a righteous look. What's not fair? It's not fair to treat you. Chen Mengyan thought that she was the one who made Yang Ming like this. She wanted to do something for Yang Ming. You're not my girlfriend now. If you do this, it won't be good. If it gets out, how are you going to face others? Yang Ming said, how about this? Wait until you agree to be my girlfriend in the future, then we'll try again. But, won't that delay it? Chen Mengyan asked with some worry. It seems that Chen Mengyan's principle is too strong. Originally, Yang Ming wanted to use the words just now to provoke Chen Mengyan, then win her over and make her agree to be his girlfriend. He didn't expect that Chen Mengyan didn't agree. It shouldn't be, this illness isn't cancer. It doesn't matter if it's delayed, right? Yang Ming said deliberately. What he meant was that the longer it was delayed, the more serious it would be. Chen Mengyan certainly understood this. She clenched her teeth and said, only you and I know about this. If we don't say it, how would others know? No matter what, I've decided to try it. Really? Yang Ming didn't expect Chen Mengyan to agree to him. Did happiness come too quickly, or did it come naturally? Chen Mengyan said with a red face, but I haven't done it before. I don't know how to do it. You have to help me, okay? Yang Ming looked around. Zhang Bin was wearing headphones and playing The Legend of Zelda DS. He was holding a touch pen and dueling with the big boss. He turned a deaf ear to the things around him. Li Chongyuan was sleeping like a log. Wait. Chen Mengyan saw that Yang Ming was about to take off his pants and said quickly. Let's forget about it. When Yang Ming heard Chen Mengyan's words, he thought that she was going back on her words. Yang Ming also blamed himself. Was it too much? Although this way, the relationship between Chen Mengyan and myself was settled, if one day Chen Mengyan knew the truth, would she blame me? If Chen Mengyan had a knot in her heart because of this incident, then he would be guilty of a great sin. No. Chen Mengyan shook her head and said. She opened her school bag and pulled out a small windbreaker. She handed it to Yang Ming. Cover us with this. Don't let others see it later. So it was because of this. Yang Ming breathed a sigh of relief. Chen Mengyan was so thoughtful. Yang Ming took the small windbreaker and opened it. He covered himself and Chen Mengyan. Chen Mengyan tucked in the corner of the windbreaker so that there were no gaps. Then, she said to Yang Ming, okay, we will close our eyes and pretend to be asleep. Try to speak softly. As Chen Mengyan said this, she leaned her body toward Yang Ming. Yang Ming also leaned his body over. In this way, in the eyes of outsiders, the two of them were like a pair of sleeping couple snuggling together. The windbreaker was used as a blanket to block the wind. Chapter 94. Chen Mengyan wasn't an irrational person. She could make this decision mainly because she cared too much about Yang Ming. Although she didn't admit it, her mind was occupied by Yang Ming. What's more, this incident was entirely caused by her. It was only right for her to contribute something. Moreover, Chen Mengyan was also very clear that if the two of them continued with their current relationship, they would definitely become a couple in university. Therefore, Chen Mengyan didn't feel that there was anything wrong with it. She was just a little shy. Are you done? Chen Mengyan looked around nervously. No one was paying attention to this side. Then. I'm starting. Chen Mengyan's nervous voice trembled. And, let's start. Yang Ming nodded excitedly. After 30 seconds, Chen Mengyan still didn't move. Although she had made up her mind, thinking and doing were two different things. No matter what, Chen Mengyan was a very pure girl. Suddenly, she had to use her hand to touch a man's private part. It made her somewhat uncomfortable. Yang Ming seemed to notice Chen Mengyan's awkwardness. He reached out and grabbed Chen Mengyan's little hand. Is this considered holding hands? In this case, Chen Mengyan didn't have time to think about it. She only felt that her hand was hot and touched a pillar-like thing. Chen Mengyan was shocked. She only felt that her face was so red that it could light up the dim cinema. She suddenly froze there. Her little hand immediately sweated. She touched Yang Ming's private part. She didn't dare to hold it, but she couldn't bear to leave. Although Yang Ming was no longer a virgin, because of the framing incident, he gave his first time to a girl named Lin Jiyun. However, because he was half awake and drunk, Yang Ming couldn't recall what it felt like at that time. Therefore, when Chen Mengyan's hand touched his body, Yang Ming was still excited and immediately had a reaction. Chen Mengyan also felt the change in Yang Ming, which made her recover. She said shyly, are you having a reaction? Yang Ming's desire was burning again, especially here in the cinema. He felt excited to let Chen Mengyan do this for him. Then, is it okay? Chen Mengyan said and wanted to withdraw her hand. Of course not. There must be a reason for what is written on the internet. If I don't finish, it may have the opposite effect, right? Helplessly, our poor female lead finally fell into Yang Ming's carefully woven trap under the lack of sexual knowledge. Of course, it wasn't very careful. If this person wasn't Chen Mengyan, maybe Yang Ming wouldn't be bothered to deceive her. But if it wasn't Chen Mengyan, who would be nervous about Yang Ming? In order to treat Yang Ming, Chen Mengyan had to continue to do mechanical exercises. Sure enough, it was much better than doing it by herself. In fact, this was entirely from Yang Ming's psychological effect. Chen Mengyan's technique was very unfamiliar. Obviously, she hadn't mastered the rhythm, but Yang Ming still felt very comfortable. This was because the person who helped him was Chen Mengyan. For a man, the mental stimulation was more intense than the physical stimulation. This was the reason why many men went out to find prostitutes when they had beautiful wives at home. If the feeling was the same when the lights were turned off, why would so many people go to nightclubs and bathing centers? This was the stimulation of the mind. The mental pleasure brought by different people was different, which directly led to the difference in the overall pleasure. At this moment, Yang Ming's hand couldn't help but press on Chen Mengyan's chest. Chen Mengyan was already very nervous. When Yang Ming touched her chest, her whole body was like being electrocuted. Yang Ming, what are you doing? But Yang Ming didn't hear Chen Mengyan's words at all. He just continued to say, Mengyan, continue. Chen Mengyan was anxious. She wanted to take Yang Ming's hand away from her chest, but she also knew that this was Yang Ming's instinct. Chen Mengyan's bottom line was once again swayed because of Yang Ming. In the end, the balance leaned toward Yang Ming's side. Chen Mengyan sighed helplessly and said to herself, forget it. This time, I will satisfy him. However, Yang Ming actually went overboard and started to pinch her. Chen Mengyan gritted her teeth and endured it. Mengyan, hurry up. Yang Ming said while panting. Do you think I'm a robot? Chen Mengyan was very depressed. Her wrist was going numb, but she still tried her best to cooperate with Yang Ming. Mengyan. I love you. Yang Ming grabbed Chen Mengyan's chest and said, say you love me, I love you. Chen Mengyan was very excited when she saw Yang Ming's appearance. She didn't dare to ask. She had to say, I love you according to Yang Ming's meaning. However, when she said this, Chen Mengyan didn't feel that there was anything wrong with it. She just felt a little embarrassed. With a low roar, Yang Ming completed the final eruption. Chen Mengyan didn't know what happened to Yang Ming, but his hand was stained with a pile of paste. Chen Mengyan knew that it might be over. Is it over? Chen Mengyan looked at Yang Ming, who had a lascivious expression and was very satisfied, and frowned. Yang Ming nodded in a low voice. If it's over, then take your hand away. Chen Mengyan said angrily. Oh. Yang Ming pretended to be suddenly enlightened. He reluctantly took his hand away from Chen Mengyan's chest. Open my bag and take out the tissue inside and give it to me. You messed with me. Why don't you have any eyesight? Chen Mengyan glared at Yang Ming. Yang Ming smiled and picked up Chen Mengyan's bag. He found a pack of tissue inside. He opened it and handed it to Chen Mengyan. Chen Mengyan took it with her other hand and carefully wiped her hand. Seeing that Yang Ming was still sitting there, Chen Mengyan asked, "Aren't you going to wipe it yourself? You help me." Yang Ming said shamelessly. Chen Mengyan was silent for a moment. Then, she said, "Yang Ming, don't push your luck. Don't think that I don't know what you are thinking." Chen Mengyan wasn't a fool. At the beginning, she had the attitude of treating Yang Ming. But later, when she saw Yang Ming's comfortable expression, it made her doubt whether Yang Ming deliberately asked her to help him. The association thought about Yang Ming's attitude before this. He didn't seem to be worried about his illness. Could it be that he already knew that there was nothing wrong and all this was just his conspiracy? So, in the end, Chen Mengyan really wanted to stop. But when she saw Yang Ming's comfortable expression, she couldn't bear it. So, she decided not to expose him and leave him some face. Just treat it as a reward for Yang Ming's academic progress during this period of time. But when she saw that Yang Ming still wanted to push his luck, Chen Mengyan naturally didn't care about him anymore. She just hinted to him that she already knew that he was narrow-minded. Everything should be done in moderation. Yang Ming listened to Chen Mengyan's words. He was shocked. Did she notice it? Seeing that Chen Mengyan didn't have a particularly angry expression, Yang Ming was relieved. He quickly got a tissue and wiped himself. Hurry up. Don't get my windbreaker. Chen Mengyan didn't dare to throw the tissue on the chair. She had to wrap it up and put it in her pocket. She was going to throw it away when she went out later. It really got on my windbreaker. Chen Mengyan was a little angry, but she couldn't do anything. She rolled up the windbreaker and put it back into the school bag. Fortunately, from the beginning to the end, the two kids who did bad things weren't discovered by others. Zhang Bin was still playing The Legend of Zelda, and Li Changyuan was still sleeping. Mengyan, do you think Yang Ming thought, is the relationship between the two of us now considered as settled? Then, can I often play similar games with Chen Mengyan in the future? Even if we can't really do it, it's very refreshing now. What? Yang Ming, I'm telling you. Only this once. Don't do it again. Chen Mengyan said, today is a special situation. Chapter 95. Yang Ming thought that after a girl's first time, there would be a second and third time. He didn't expect Chen Mengyan's answer to be so firm. All of a sudden, he had sealed off his path. This feeling wasn't good. After the first time, of course, he wanted a second time. It seemed that the days ahead would be tough. Yang Ming couldn't help but feel depressed. Sigh. Chen Mengyan saw Yang Ming's depressed look. She sighed faintly and comforted him, at least before the National Higher Education Entrance Examination, don't even think about it. Chen Mengyan didn't know what she was thinking. Maybe, she was just comforting Yang Ming. She didn't want this to affect his studies. Yang Ming listened to Chen Mingyan's words. He knew that Chen Mingyan had agreed to be his girlfriend after the National Higher Education entrance examination. Because if she wasn't his girlfriend, how could there be any intimate action? Yang Ming was very excited. He wanted to shout, but when he saw Chen Mingyan glaring at him, he smiled awkwardly. Ah! Finally! Zhang Bin cheered, after playing for a whole night, I finally passed the level today. Zhang Bin's voice shocked Yang Ming and Chen Mingyan. They looked at each other and thought that it was a close call. If they were a little slower, Zhang Bin might have found out. Zhang Bin took off his headphones and looked at Yang Ming. How's the movie going? Is it fun? It's okay. Don't you want to watch? Yang Ming answered casually. In fact, he didn't watch much. And, do you want to play? Zhang Bin passed the game console to Yang Ming. Yang Ming took it and casually switched to Mario Kart to play. This was a racing game that was fun to frame others. It was not the same as the general racing game. Here, the entertainment value was relatively low. You could knock out different items to trap your opponents. Yang Ming, hit him with your turtle shell. You're so stupid. Chen Mingyan was also interested. She rarely played video games, but when she saw such a simple and interesting game, she naturally became interested. Do you want to play? Yang Ming saw that Chen Mingyan was interested in something other than studying, so he passed the game to her and taught her how to use it. Yang Ming chose a gorilla, but Chen Mingyan naturally didn't like this image, so she changed it to Princess Peach. Perhaps all girls had a natural talent for driving. Other than the first few times where she was not used to it, Chen Mingyan actually got first place again and again. This made Yang Ming very shocked. What do you think? Awesome, right? Chen Mingyan said proudly. Yang Ming was speechless. What a ruthless person. Even Zhang Bin opened his mouth wide. You even ran out the hidden characters? When the movie ended, all the hidden characters were run out by Chen Mingyan. Zhang Bin was very happy and shouted, "Thank you, sister-in-law." Chen Mingyan didn't want to explain. The more she explained, the easier it would be for people to misunderstand. Because of the movie, school ended a little earlier. When she got home, Chen Mingyan was going to wash the clothes, but she felt a little sleepy, so she lay on the bed for a while. She didn't expect that she would fall asleep in a daze. In the evening, when Mother Chen came home from work, she saw Chen Mingyan's shoes at the door, so she shouted, "Yonyan, you're back." Seeing that there was no movement, Mother Chen pushed open the door of Chen Mingyan's room and found that Chen Mingyan was already asleep, so she shook her head and sighed, "Go to sleep. The 12th grade is too tiring." Fortunately, there is only 1 month left. Just as she was about to leave the room, Mother Chen suddenly saw Chen Mingyan's windbreaker on the floor, so she walked over and picked it up. She said to herself, "You're already a big child, but you still need your mother to help you wash the clothes." She also saw Chen Mingyan's jeans today and found that it was a little dirty, so she took it out of the house and went into the bathroom. What is this? Mother Chen looked at the little white spots on Chen Mingyan's windbreaker and was a little suspicious, but she wasn't sure because vegetable soup could also cause this effect. However, after having doubts, Mother Chen began to carefully check Chen Mingyan's jeans. There was nothing suspicious on it, but she found a ball of used toilet paper in the pocket. Originally, Mother Chen wanted to throw it away, but she was afraid that there was something like a neutral wire in it, so she opened it to take a look. She was immediately stunned. Mother Chen put the toilet paper in front of her nose and sniffed it, and her face immediately changed. As an experienced person, Mother Chen naturally knew what this smell was. Mother Chen picked up the windbreaker again, and her eyebrows gradually wrinkled. Chen Mingyan slept very well this time. Recently, because she was studying hard, she always slept very late. After a sleep, she felt much more energetic. When she opened her eyes, she found that the room was already dark. She looked at the colorful alarm clock on the bedside table. It was already 8:00 in the evening. Chen Mengyan stretched and got out of bed. She casually turned on the light in the room. Right, the clothes haven't been washed yet. Chen Mengyan suddenly remembered the business and quickly jumped out of bed. But, where are the clothes? Chen Mengyan stared blankly at the empty floor. I clearly remember that when I came home, I threw the windbreaker on the floor. Why is it suddenly gone? Could it be Mom? Chen Mingyan's heart almost jumped out of her throat. She couldn't help but scream in her heart, Yang Ming. You are going to kill me. I'm finished. If Mom knows, what should I do? Chen Mengyan walked out of the room nervously. When she heard the sound of the washing machine working in the bathroom, she was slightly relieved. Yonyan, you are awake. Mother Chen was watching TV in the living room when she heard the sound from Chen Mingyan's room, so she turned around and asked. And, Mom, that is my windbreaker. Chen Mengyan asked carefully. Oh, you are talking about the windbreaker. I washed it for you. Mother Chen said lightly. She just weighed the pros and cons for a long time and decided not to ask her daughter about this matter. After all, her daughter would be 18 years old after her birthday. She would have the ability to distinguish right from wrong. Since her daughter didn't want to say it, then she didn't need to be nosy. The National Higher Education Entrance Examination was coming. Mother Chen didn't want to affect Chen Mingyan's mood because of this matter. Oh. I washed it. Chen Mengyan saw that her mother didn't have any special expression and was relieved. What are we eating tonight? Today your dad has a task at work. Why don't we go out to eat? Although Mother Chen didn't want to pursue this matter, she decided to ask about her daughter's life in a roundabout way. Did she have a boyfriend? Okay. Chen Mengyan was also a bit hungry. She ate a stomach full of snacks in the afternoon, but they weren't enough. Especially the one that helped Yang Ming, it consumed a lot of energy. This is so embarrassing. Chen Mingyan's face turned red again. Mother Chen looked at her daughter strangely. How can she blush when going out to eat? Mother Chen shook her head and thought, maybe it's because she just woke up. The mother and daughter went downstairs to the California Beef Noodle King. Each of them ordered a bowl of noodles and a plate of cucumber side dishes. Yonyan, you're a big girl in the blink of an eye. Time really flies. Mother Chen looked at Chen Mengyan with a smile. Mom, no matter how big I am, I'm still your daughter. Chen Mengyan said coquettishly. Yeah, but in a few years, you're going to get married and become someone's daughter-in-law. Mother Chen laughed. Mom. What are you talking about? How old am I? Who's going to get married? However, in Chen Mingyan's mind, she didn't know why, but Yang Ming's daughter-in-law of the Yang family appeared. She couldn't help but blush. Mother Chen saw her daughter's expression and thought that there was indeed a problem. So, she said calmly, you're so old. If it was in the past, you would be a mother of a few children. How is it? Do you have a boyfriend? Boyfriend? Chen Mengyan was stunned. Does Yang Ming count? She immediately denied it. Mom, what boyfriend? I already said that I'll think about this problem after I go to university. And Mom is just asking casually. Mother Chen thought that her daughter didn't want to tell her, so she didn't ask. She just said, my colleague's child is only in the first year of high school, but she already has a boyfriend. But I don't think it's a big deal as long as it doesn't affect your studies. Mother Chen said this deliberately to show that she was very open-minded in front of her daughter. Mom, what's wrong with you today? Do you want me to find a boyfriend now? Chen Mengyan was a bit confused. Okay, let's not talk about this. Let's eat. Mother Chen saw that it was time to eat, so she stopped the topic. Yonyan, was the movie good today? Movie? Was it okay? Chen Mengyan didn't know whether the movie was good or not. She helped Yang Ming in the first half of the movie and played games in the second half. Chapter 96. What was it? Tell me about it. Mother Chen didn't have any other intention. She just casually found a topic. Chen Mengyan didn't expect her mother to ask this. I was sleeping. I didn't pay much attention, oh right. Mother Chen suddenly realized that her daughter must have done something with a boy when they were watching a movie in the afternoon. Thinking of this, Mother Chen sighed slightly. My daughter is really grown up. She doesn't tell me anything anymore. Let's eat. The food will be cold soon. Mother Chen saw that her daughter wasn't in a good mood, so she ate the noodles. After the mother and daughter finished their meal, Mother Chen turned on the hot water and prepared to take a bath. Yonyan, come and take a bath with me. How do I take a bath together? Asked Chen Mengyan. Help me rub my back, said Mother Chen. Oh, okay. Chen Mengyan couldn't help it. She had to take off her clothes and follow her mother into the bathroom. After careful observation, Mother Chen was relieved that her daughter hadn't lost her virginity. It seemed that the two children just played some ambiguous games and didn't break through the last line of defense. Thinking of this, Mother Chen was relieved. It seemed that her daughter knew her limits. At night, Mother Chen told her husband that her daughter's windbreaker was stained with that thing. You are saying that Yonyan has already? Father Chen frowned. No, I specifically took a bath with her. After checking, Yonyan is still a virgin. Mother Chen said. Then what do you plan to do? Father Chen didn't have much of an emotional expression. Perhaps it was because of the nature of his work. It was common to see underage sex, not to mention that his daughter was already an adult. What else can we do? Yonyan isn't willing to say. We can't force her. Mother Chen said helplessly. And, let's just leave it as it is. Don't mention it in the future. After the college entrance examination, I will talk to her. Father Chen said. That's the only way. Mother Chen sighed. Do you think we should teach our daughter about that? If something happens, the girl will be at a disadvantage. Mother Chen couldn't help it. Children nowadays matured early. Her colleague's son had a miscarriage with his girlfriend when he was in his first year of high school. After seeing so many things, it wasn't so resistant. This isn't necessary, right? Yan should know her limits. Papa Chen thought to himself, I might as well popularize it to Yan's boyfriend. This brat was really too much. He had to find an opportunity to give him a warning. And one of the parties involved in this matter, our number one beauty Chen Mengyan, couldn't sleep tonight. Maybe it was because she had slept last night, but now that she was lying on the bed, her mind kept thinking about what happened with Yang Ming in the afternoon. Before this, Chen Mengyan would never have thought that she would help a guy do that kind of thing. Thinking of her mother's hesitant expression, Chen Mengyan felt really annoyed. Yang Ming, you are so bad. Why does he have to appear in my life? Is that his true thoughts? Yang Ming said he loves me. Is that his true thoughts? In the blink of an eye, the sky outside the window turned bright. Chen Mengyan fell asleep in the midst of her dilemma. The other party, Yang Ming, had a good sleep. In his dream, Chen Mengyan became his girlfriend. The two of them hugged each other and took a walk by the beach. Watching movies was just a form of adjustment for the third year of high school. After a short rest, the intense study life came again. Monthly exam, second joint exam, district mock exam, city mock exam, all of them came one after another like a huge mountain. Yang Ming continued to use his X-ray vision and telescopic vision to cheat. However, this time, he held back a little. He didn't copy too much. He just kept himself in the second place of the class and in the top 10 of the year. He was just behind Qin Mengyan. Yang Ming, why do I feel like you did it on purpose? Once or twice, it could be a coincidence. But every time, she was first and Yang Ming was second. Qin Mengyan was a little suspicious. How is that possible? It's easy to get first place on purpose. But have you ever seen someone get second place every time? Besides, I'm only a few points away from you every time. How can I possibly calculate so accurately? Yang Ming said with a smile. Qin Mengyan thought about it. Yang Ming didn't know her results before. How could he be so accurate? Maybe it was God's will. Girls always think of romantic things. Apart from that one unconventional breakthrough in their relationship, there were no other intimate actions between them. It wasn't that Yang Ming didn't want to, but Qin Mengyan didn't give him any chance. Yang Ming also hinted to Qin Mengyan to let her come to his house or watch a movie together. Qin Mengyan flatly refused. Yang Ming's little tricks, such as waiting for an opportunity to touch Qin Mengyan's breasts, didn't succeed. In short, Qin Mengyan didn't give him any chance. Others were nervous, but Yang Ming was very relaxed. He didn't need to study and he could get good results. Perhaps, other than Yang Ming, no one else could do it. Yang Ming still went online every day. Occasionally, he would chat with I'm a Superstar and play Fight the Landlord with Wild Female Teacher. In the blink of an eye, it was the legendary Black June. Although the country's education system had been reformed many times, the number of universities was still too little compared to the current total number of students. Except for those who made special contributions to the country, most of the others still had to take the college entrance exam. A week before the college entrance exam, the school gave the candidates a holiday. Today was the last day in school. The teachers of each subject didn't teach anymore. They only told the students about the experience of the exam and things to take note of. Students, today is the last day of your high school career. You are about to enter one of the most important exam rooms in your life. I won't say anything else. There is only one sentence, which is to keep a calm mind. Don't be nervous. Restore everything you have learned on the college entrance exam. Don't leave any blank space. Write down what you know. If you don't know, you have to guess. Although as a teacher, it's not very appropriate for my students to guess the answers, but for your grades, I have to tell you that you have to do this. Okay, you have to have confidence. You can do it, you can do it. I will cheer for you. Teacher Lee concluded, finally, I wish all of you good luck. Keep it up. Originally, the atmosphere was still very tense, but Teacher Lee's last sentence made the students relax and laugh. It turned out that the teacher also knew how to use popular phrases. Among the laughing students, there was one person who was smiling evilly. This person was Wang Jitao. On the eve of the college entrance exam, he finally made his move. Qin Mengyan, I have something to say to you. Wang Jitao came to Qin Mengyan's table. Can you go to the corridor with me? What? Can't you say something here? Qin Mengyan obviously didn't want to go out with him alone. It's a very important thing. It's about Yang Ming. Wang Jitao said. Okay. Qin Mengyan hesitated, stood up and walked out with Wang Jitao. Fuck. Motherfucker, as soon as I said it was about Yang Ming, you immediately came out. Wang Jitao was very angry, but Yang Ming was going to be kicked out soon. Wang Jitao, why are you looking for me? Chen Mengyan said faintly. Mengyan, your relationship with Yang Ming is good, right? Wang Jitao asked in a creepy way. Don't call me Mengyan. My relationship with Yang Ming is not something you need to worry about. Chen Mengyan was suddenly annoyed that Wang Jitao called her that. I have a stack of photos here. After you see it, you will know what kind of person Yang Ming is. Stay away from him in the future. Wang Jitao handed a bag of things to Chen Mengyan. What do you mean? What is this? Chen Mengyan didn't reach out. You will know when you see it. You don't want this matter to be known by everyone, right? Wang Jitao smiled. Chen Mengyan looked at Wang Jitao and took the things in his hand. When she opened it, she couldn't help but be shocked. This is Yang Ming. What do you think? Don't tell me you don't even recognize your classmates. Wang Jitao laughed. How did you get this photo? Chen Mengyan frowned. She didn't comment on Yang Ming, but she was suspicious of Wang Jitao's purpose. It's a coincidence. I got it from a website editor. That day, the police happened to be in time for an inspection. They caught a few prostitutes in Heavenly Earth. The editor took a few photos with a digital camera and wanted to expose it on the website. Wang Jitao explained, my family has shares in Heavenly Earth. You know that once this kind of thing is exposed, it will affect the business. If people know that we are not safe here, there will always be an inspection. Who would dare to come here? So the hotel gave the editor a sum of money to buy the photos. Chapter 97. Then how do you know about this? Chen Mengyan asked coldly. This. Wang Jitao was stunned. He didn't expect Chen Mengyan to be able to remain calm in this situation. He thought that Chen Mengyan would be furious. However, Wang Jitao was still considered a young schemer. His mind worked quickly. That editor is still young, so my father couldn't make an appearance. Coincidentally, my father wanted to train me, so he sent me to contact that editor. So, I don't have any other intention. I just want to remind you that Yang Ming is not a very honest person. Chen Mengyan looked at the photo in her hand. For a moment, all the joys and sorrows in her heart surged. It's really Yang Ming. He was only wrapped in a bath towel, and he was taken out of the hotel by 2 police officers with a lewd expression. Even if Chen Mengyan didn't come into contact with this, she could guess why he was taken away by the police without wearing any clothes. Chen Mengyan was heartbroken. For the first time, she had the feeling of being betrayed by her lover. That feeling was like her heart was taken out by someone. She was helpless, hesitant, and at a loss. It was also a coincidence. The date on the photo had been changed by Wang Jitao with the computer. He changed it to a recent date. He was afraid that someone would associate the photo with that incident. After all, it's better to be safe than sorry. But our smart male lead was a victim of his own cleverness. Although he temporarily fooled Chen Mengyan, he also caused a lot of trouble for himself because of this incident. The date of the photo was exactly 1 week after the movie. The clear scene came to Chen Mengyan's mind. Mengyan, there's no one at my house tomorrow night. How about you come to my house and help me with my homework? Yang Ming said lewdly and shamelessly. Can't homework be helped at school? Why do I have to go to your house? Chen Mengyan certainly knew what Yang Ming was thinking. She really regretted that she was soft-hearted at that time, which gave Yang Ming the opportunity to take advantage of her. This. After studying, we can do some things that we like to do. Yang Ming saw that he was exposed, so he didn't hide anything anymore. I don't like to do it. If you want to do it yourself. Chen Mengyan snorted. Study hard. Don't always think about useless things. But sometimes boys need to vent. Meng Yan, if you don't help me, I will find someone else. Yang Ming deliberately said this. Who cares? You can find whoever you want. Chen Mengyan didn't care about Yang Ming's threats. Is it because I didn't agree to his request, he went to find a prostitute? Chen Mengyan really couldn't accept this fact. She even began to doubt Yang Ming's feelings for her. Did he approach her to satisfy his personal needs? A feeling of anger and being deceived made Chen Mengyan's tears linger in her eyes. She ignored Wang Jitao. Chen Mengyan stumbled back to the classroom. Her vision was blurred. Damn. Yang Ming, you are not simple. You actually made Chen Mengyan fall for you. Wang Jitao was very unhappy and scolded in his heart. But this time you are finished. Hee, aren't your grades better than mine? What's the use of being good? Let's see if you still have the mood to take the college entrance exam. As long as you can't get into a university, you won't be competitive anymore. Chen Mengyan wouldn't be with an unemployed young man. Even if Chen Mengyan agreed, her family would strongly oppose it. In this way, he had an opportunity. Wang Jitao did this because he was gambling. He was gambling that Chen Mengyan wouldn't tell this to Yang Ming. Chen Mengyan's personality was that she was the kind of person who buried her thoughts in her heart. Therefore, Wang Jitao felt that Chen Mengyan wouldn't confront Yang Ming face to face because of these photos. Of course, at least not for the time being. When Chen Mengyan regained her senses and the National Higher Education entrance examination was over, it would be useless to confront him then. One had to admit that this move of Wang Jitao's was truly too insidious. At first, he made Yang Ming let his guard down, then at the crucial moment, he used a fatal blow. Wang Jitao really expected that Chen Mengyan didn't confront Yang Ming face to face. If it were other things, Chen Mengyan might not be as disappointed and irrational as she was now. But when it came to Yang Ming, Chen Mengyan was a little confused. Yang Ming didn't know what happened because today was the last day of school before the National Higher Education entrance examination. Yang Ming wanted to be with Chen Mengyan. After school, Yang Ming came to Chen Mengyan's desk. Mengyan, how about going out for a walk? At this moment, Chen Mengyan was lying on her desk. When she heard Yang Ming's words, she slowly raised her head. Her eyes were red from crying as she glared at Yang Ming with disgust. She picked up her bag and walked out of the classroom without looking back. Mengyan, what's wrong with you? Yang Ming felt strange and quickly chased after her. Don't follow me. I don't know you. Chen Mengyan said coldly to Yang Ming who was following her. Mengyan, what's wrong with you? Did I make you angry? Yang Ming saw Chen Mengyan's abnormal mood and was a little confused. You know what you did behind my back. Chen Mengyan said with a hoarse voice, don't come to me in the future. I hate you. After she finished, she didn't wait for Yang Ming to speak and quickly ran to the end of the corridor. What does this mean? It's inexplicable. Yang Ming was a little confused. How did I provoke Chen Mengyan? Nothing. When he looked in front, Chen Mengyan had already disappeared. Yang Ming shook his head absent-mindedly. Chen Mengyan had never treated him with this kind of attitude. Even when he used to skip class and lie to her, Chen Mengyan only scolded him angrily. What's wrong with her today? He didn't know that at that time, Chen Mengyan only treated teaching Yang Ming as a class cadre's responsibility. But now it was different. Her relationship with Yang Ming was no longer an ordinary classmate relationship. Yang Ming suddenly remembered that Wang Jitao looked for Chen Mengyan once. Could it be that this brat said something bad to Chen Mengyan? Fuck his mother, I didn't do anything to him for the time being, and he's still angry. It seems that I have to find an opportunity to teach this guy a lesson. Yang Ming thought resentfully. It's just that no matter what Wang Jitao said, Qin Mengyan would believe it. The current situation was that Qin Mengyan believed Wang Jitao, but didn't believe him. This made Yang Ming very angry. Who is she close to? Forget it, just ignore me then. This kind of woman is not worth it. Although Yang Ming coaxed Qin Mengyan on small matters, he was a male chauvinist in his bones. Thinking that Qin Mengyan didn't even believe him, it meant that Qin Mengyan didn't believe him at all and didn't care about him. Poor Qin Mengyan, who was misunderstood by Yang Ming. How was it that she didn't care about Yang Ming? It was because she cared too much about Yang Ming that she had such an abnormal attitude. Wasn't there a saying that the deeper the love, the deeper the hurt? Now Qin Mengyan was like that. Do whatever you want, Yang Ming shook his head. He was actually dumped twice. The first time was Suya. This girl was separated from him. The day before she transferred to another school, she secretly gave him a letter saying that she would like him forever. But after that, there was no news from her. This time, it was Qin Mengyan. In the morning, she was still sweet-talking with him, but in the afternoon, she turned her back on him. It seems that a woman's words can't be trusted. Fickle animals. If you want to misunderstand, so be it. I don't care. Thus, the relationship that had not yet started had a crack in it due to the misunderstanding between the two. After some time, the two buried the hatchet and resolved the misunderstanding. Qin Mengyan regretted it very much. She regretted that she doubted Yang Ming at that time, which led to a perfect relationship to be shared with another woman. Was this considered a punishment from the heavens? Yang Ming, who was in a bad mood, slowly walked out of the campus. He was looking for a target that he could vent his anger on. Yang Ming wanted to meet a few hooligans like Zhang Yuliang who bullied the old and weak, so that he could be a good Samaritan. Jin Gang was unlucky. He chose to make a move on the same day as Wang Jitao. Yang Ming, you come with me. Jin Gang had been waiting at the school gate for a long time. All the students had left, but Yang Ming did not come out. He thought that he missed him. He didn't expect this guy to come out last. This made Jin Gang a little angry. Where's my bicycle? Yang Ming was in a bad mood, so he didn't have time to care about him. Bicycle? Jin Gang thought, you're good. You're about to die, and you're still thinking about the bicycle. In a while, I'll let you say goodbye to the bicycle. I said it last time. I can't see the bicycle, so I'll turn you into a bicycle. Do you think my words don't work, or do you have a memory problem? Yang Ming looked at Jin Gang and said disdainfully. Okay, you're good. You come with me. I'll find you a bicycle. Jin Gang said angrily. Chapter 98. Fuck you, idiot. Yang Ming kicked Jin Gang and directly kicked this guy to the ground. Then, he kicked him fiercely and scolded, I'm in a good mood during this time, so I don't want to talk to you. How dare you jump on me? Yang Ming didn't know where to vent his anger. Now that someone came back to help him vent his anger, how could he let him go? Originally, Jin Gang was a sports player. He should be able to spar with Yang Ming. However, Jin Gang didn't expect Yang Ming to attack suddenly. He was lying on the ground before he could react. He lost his advantage and could only be beaten up. Today, Chao Liwa got the big cannon, Brother De, from the north of the city to teach Yang Ming a lesson. Moreover, he was afraid that Brother De couldn't handle Yang Ming, so he specially called a few hooligans. If Yang Ming really couldn't handle it, they would gang up on him. No matter how good Yang Ming was, he wouldn't be able to withstand the will tactic. Jin Gang didn't dare to beat up a student in front of the school gate. Last time, Jin Shixin had already warned him. Principal Lee was very angry. If Jean Gang caused trouble at this critical moment, Jin Shisun wouldn't be able to say anything. Therefore, for his job, Jean Gang didn't dare to cause trouble. Chow Liwa waited for a long time, but Jean Gang didn't come back. It was just a matter of minutes to find a student. Why was he so slow? Xiao Chow, what's wrong with your friend? Why didn't he come back after such a long time? Brother De was a little impatient. Let me take a look. Chow Liwa felt strange too. Therefore, he walked to the entrance of the school from the alley. Before he reached the entrance, he saw Yang Ming kicking a person. The person who was kicked was Jean Gang. Chow Liwa was shocked and quickly reported to Brother De. What? This guy has guts. Bring me there. Brother De said angrily. Isn't this not giving me face? Yes, Brother De. You must teach that brat a lesson. Chow Liwa hurriedly said. He's dead meat. Brother De said arrogantly. Chow Liwa and Brother De walked quickly to the school gate. Brother De also saw Yang Ming, who was beating up Jean Gang. Why does this person look so familiar? Brother De shook his head. I don't know any of the students here. Stop! Brother De shouted in an imposing manner. It was like the appearance of the boss in a movie. Yang Ming was so angry that he didn't hear Brother De's call at all. He continued to kick Jean Gang. You motherfucker, didn't you want to trick me? You want your uncle to fire me? Why don't you fire him? A weakling like you dares to act tough in front of me. If I don't beat you into a ninja turtle, you won't know why it carries a hard shell all day long. When Brother De saw that the kid in front of him actually ignored him, he was furious. He went up and grabbed Yang Ming's collar. Yang Ming was in the mood. Seeing that someone was interrupting him, of course he would not let it go. He turned around and looked. It's actually an old acquaintance. It's really a small world. Yang Ming slapped him directly. Yu Xiangde, have you forgotten the pain after your scar healed? Yu Xiangde was stunned too. Coupled with the slap from Yang Ming, he was stunned. It's actually the guy who beat me up in the detention center. Why aren't you talking? Yang Ming looked at Yu Xiangde and said sarcastically, you were hired by Jean Gang, right? Yu Xiangde was angry in his heart. Motherfucker, why do I have to meet this guy everywhere? What happened in the detention center was a great humiliation to Yu Xiangde. However, because he couldn't beat Yang Ming, he could only swallow his anger. He didn't expect to meet this guy again after he came out. However, no matter how angry Yu Xiangde was, he knew that he couldn't fight today. Yang Ming's ruthlessness was still fresh in Yu Xiangde's memory. This guy would hit anywhere that could be fatal. He was very ruthless. Last time, he almost paralyzed Yu Xiangde. How could Yu Xiangde not be scared? However, Yu Xiangde wasn't ready to let go of Yang Ming, but he had to endure it today. Brother Yang, you came out too. Nonsense, I came out earlier than you. Don't you know how to talk? Yang Ming wasn't in a good mood today. If it was a normal day, he would definitely consider the consequences. No matter how ruthless Yang Ming was, he was just a student. He was no longer at the bottom of the society. However, Yu Xiangde was different. This guy was a professional gangster. If he really entangled with him, Yang Ming would be annoyed enough. Yu Xiangde endured his anger. He thought, wait until I take care of Bao Sanli, then I will deal with you. I'm sorry, Brother Yang. I was just passing by. Passing by. Passing by. Then you mean that you saw me hit someone, so you wanted to be a good Samaritan? Yang Ming said sarcastically. Oh, that's true. But if I knew that Brother Yang was here to teach someone a lesson, I wouldn't care about this. Brother Yang must have hit a bad guy. Yu Xiangde was now in an irreconcilable situation with Bao Sonli. If he fought with Yang Ming because of impulsiveness, both sides would definitely suffer in the end. If Bao Sonli took this opportunity to annex his forces in one fell swoop, then the loss outweighed the gain. So, Yu Xiangde continued to endure. Yang Ming beat up Jin Gang, and his mood was a lot better. As the saying goes, don't hit a smiling face. Seeing that Yu Xiangde was polite to him, Yang Ming couldn't say anything more. Anyway, he had vented his anger. Yang Ming hummed a little tune and went home. Jin Gang was completely desperate this time. Yang Ming is really a ruthless person. I can forget about revenge in this life. Even Brother De is respectful to him. I'm nothing. Besides, our pure female lead, Chen Mengyan, locked herself in her room after returning home. Yang Ming, you bastard. Chen Mengyan threw the photo on the ground and stomped on it. She wanted to stomp Yang Ming out of the photo. I'll stomp you to death. Chen Mengyan scolded Yang Ming fiercely as she jumped around on the floor, but tears flowed down unwillingly. Didn't I just reject his unreasonable request twice? But I also hinted to him that after the college entrance examination, I will be his girlfriend. Is he so unambitious? He can't even hold it in for a few days. He actually went behind my back to find a prostitute. It's so hateful. The more Chen Mengyan thought about it, the more upset she felt. She supported herself on the bed and cried. Thinking of the little things she had done with Yang Ming in the past 3 months, Chen Mengyan was even more sad. Is everything over? Looking at the hairpin Yang Ming bought for her on the bedside table, Chen Mengyan grabbed it and threw it out of the window. She cried until the sky turned dark until there was a knock on the door. Yonyan, it's time for dinner. Chen Mengyan couldn't eat anything. Even if it was delicacies, she had no appetite. Yonyan, what's wrong? Are you asleep? Mom went in. Mother Chen saw that there was no movement inside and was about to open the door. Ah. Mom, I'll be right out. Don't open the door first. I'm changing. Chen Mengyan suddenly came back to her senses and said in a panic. The photos on the ground hadn't been picked up yet. Chen Mengyan didn't dare to let her mother in. This child, what's wrong with changing clothes? Are you afraid that Mom will look at you? Mother Chen smiled and said, then hurry up. Your dad and I are waiting for you. Oh, okay. Chen Mengyan replied mechanically. She quickly picked up the photos on the ground and hid them in the drawer under the bed. The door opened. Chen Mengyan tried to make herself look normal, but her listless look and red eyes betrayed her. Yonyan, what's wrong with you? Father Chen noticed his daughter's abnormality first. What happened to your eyes? Eyes? Oh, nothing, sand got in. Chen Mengyan said in a hurry and lowered her head. Sand got in. Mom will take a look. Mother Chen said worriedly. No need, it's already fine. Chen Mengyan said quickly. Let's take a look. The National Higher Education Entrance Examination is coming. Don't let anything happen. Mother Chen was a little worried. Mother Chen pulled her wife. Because of the nature of work, he had a more acute observation than others. Experience told him that it was absolutely impossible for sand to get into his daughter's eyes. Seeing her husband pull her, Mother Chen was stunned. But when she saw the hint in Father Chen's eyes, she immediately understood and shut her mouth. Chen Mengyan ate a few mouthfuls perfunctorily and lost her appetite. She was afraid that her parents would notice that she couldn't control her emotions, so she said, Mom, I will take a shower first. After that, she walked quickly to the bathroom. Just as she locked the door, tears slipped down again. afraid that her parents would hear her sobbing, Chen Mengyan turned on the shower head and sat there blankly. The water from the shower head splashed on her face, mixed with her tears, and flowed to the floor. Until this moment, Chen Mengyan realized how important Yang Ming was to her. But he made such a big mistake behind her back. Could she still forgive him? The most important thing was that he made a mistake, but he never confessed to her. Chen Mengyan was letting her imagination run wild in the bathroom. Father Chen and Mother Chen couldn't sleep and eat peacefully outside. Chapter 99. Old Chen, what do you think happened to Yongyan today? Mother Chen looked suspiciously at the closed door of the bathroom and asked. How would I know? Father Chen shook his head. Wasn't she fine when we went to school this morning? Why did she become like this when we came back? You are asking me. Old Chen, you are the police. Why are you asking me? Mother Chen complained. Wife, the police aren't omnipotent. How can the police know everything? Father Chen said with a bitter smile, I just came back. How would I know? Then why don't you investigate and see what happened? Mother Chen complained. All right, I will investigate. Father Chen walked to his daughter's room helplessly. When he entered the room, the first thing that caught Father Chen's eyes was the messy bedding. There was a big wet mark on it. Chen Mengyan was so old. Obviously, it was impossible for her to wet the bed. It was obvious that there were tear marks. Father Chen sighed. It seemed that his guess was right. His daughter just cried. Father Chen hesitated for a while about his daughter's things. It was illegal to touch other people's privacy. Not even his own daughter. Father Chen didn't want his daughter to look down on him. In the end, he walked out of the room. If his daughter was willing to say, she would have said it earlier. If she didn't want to say it, it meant that she didn't want him and Mother Chen to know. When he closed the door, Father Chen suddenly noticed a photo in the corner behind the door. He picked it up doubtfully. How did his daughter have this photo? However, Father Chen seemed to understand everything. He shook his head with a bitter smile. His daughter had grown up. There was actually a day when she was troubled by love. Father Chen felt that he should do his duty as a father. It wasn't a good idea to let his daughter be troubled like this. When Yang Ming returned home, he wasn't upset anymore. He had vented his anger. Although he was still depressed, he didn't show it. Therefore, Yang's father and mother Yang didn't notice anything unusual. When he returned to his room, Yang Ming turned on his computer and logged into QQ. Hey, there are plenty of beauties. Yang Ming didn't think about Chen Mingyan's problem for the time being. Wild female teacher, are you there? There's no true love in this world. Yes, fight the landlord. Which room? Yang Ming asked habitually. Wild female teacher, I'm in a bad mood today. Can you chat with me for a while? There's no true love in this world. Alright, I'm in a bad mood too. Let's talk some sense into each other. Wild female teacher, what's wrong with you? There's no true love in this world, just like you. Wild female teacher, like me. I'm heartbroken. Don't tell me you're the same. There's no true love in this world, well, something like that. Wild female teacher, your QQ profile clearly says, there's no true love in this world. There's no true love in this world, well, I just wrote it casually. Why are you in a bad mood? Did he fall out of love again? Wild female teacher, I might never see that person again, so I'm very sad. There's no true love in this world, what do you mean? He's dead. Wild female teacher, don't curse him, you are the one who is dead. There's no true love in this world, then what's going on? Wild female teacher, he graduated. There's no true love in this world, graduate. What do you mean? Aren't you a teacher? Isn't the person you like your colleague? Wild female teacher, he is my student. There's no true love in this world, your student. It couldn't be, right? I couldn't tell that you are an old cow eating young grass. Not knowing why, Yang Ming suddenly thought of Zhao Ying. Sigh, I don't know if I can see her again in the future. It seems that this wild female teacher is in the same boat as me. Wild female teacher. I'm not that old. Why, you can't accept it. Are you looking down on me? There's no true love in this world, no. How could it be? I'm just surprised. Our experiences are similar. Wild female teacher, why, do you like your student too? Are you a teacher too? There's no true love in this world, heh, Yang Ming didn't explain. He felt a little annoyed. Zhao Ying, Chen Mengyan, who do I like more? In terms of intimacy, Chen Mengyan is closer to me. But in terms of spiritual communication, Zhao Ying is closer to me. After several trials and tribulations together, their hearts are connected. Chen Mengyan will doubt me today because of Wang Jitao, but Zhao Ying won't. For example, Zhao Ying had never doubted that she had cheated in the exam results. However, Zhao Ying's attitude towards me that night in the association. Is it still possible between us? Chen Mengyan finally calmed down. Let's talk about the future later. If Yang Ming explains to me, will I forgive him? Chen Mengyan doesn't know. Maybe I will. A woman can easily forgive a man's infidelity. Chen Mengyan once read this sentence in a novel. At that time, she sneered at the author who wrote this sentence. But now, Chen Mengyan was a little shaken. She can't take it anymore. It's only been one night. It was hard for her to imagine if she would suffer from depression or something like that if this continued. Yonyan, do you have time? Talk to me for a while. Papa Chen said to his daughter who was drying her hair. Oh. I have to study. Chen Mengyan was not in a good mood and naturally didn't want to say anything more. You can study for a while. I'm usually busy with work and we don't have time to talk. Papa Chen said, don't be nervous. Just treat me as your friend, not your elder. Oh. Chen Mengyan nodded. Since her father said so, she couldn't insist. Yonyan, the last time we had a heart-to-heart talk was when you were in the first year of junior high, right? Papa Chen found a topic to talk about. Yes, right? Chen Mengyan's thoughts returned to that time and her gloomy mood improved slightly. She said a little embarrassedly, on the first day of junior high, a female classmate framed me for stealing her pencil sharpener, that's right. You cried in the room for the whole night. Hee, your mother and I were heartbroken. Papa Chen said. And, the pencil sharpener that you bought for me was the same as hers, so she suspected me. Chen Mengyan nodded. Hee, I was still too young at that time and didn't know anything. It's not wrong to suspect. I, your father, often suspect others too. But that's just a suspicion. Do you remember what you said to the female classmate? Papa Chen laughed. I told her that there was no evidence. Why did she suspect me? Chen Mengyan laughed too. Didn't I learn from you since I was young? Everything must be based on evidence. Yeah, I remember that she told you that she heard it from someone else, right? Papa Chen asked. Yes, that's what she said, Chen Mengyan said. I told her that seeing is believing. That's right. What you hear is false, but what you see is true. But in many cases, what you see with your own eyes might not be the truth. Chen Fei laughed and shook his head. For example, your pencil sharpener. She obviously saw it too. You have the same pencil sharpener here, but what she saw might not be the truth, right? That's right, what we see may not be the truth. Chen Mengyan didn't understand why her father suddenly said this to her, but her mood suddenly became better. She had a feeling of being enlightened. Sometimes, when we see the existence of something, we will make a judgment based on our own wishful thinking and ignore the essence of the matter, Papa Chin continued. Dad, can you do me a favor? Chen Mengyan clenched her teeth and made a decision. Although this decision might arouse her father's suspicion, she couldn't stand it. Especially after listening to her father's words, she felt more restless. If she really misunderstood Yang Ming because of this, then, help. Of course, you don't have to be so polite with your father. Papa Chen knew that his daughter had thought it through. What's the matter? Just say it. Can you keep it a secret from me? Chen Mengyan hesitated. You won't even tell your mother? Papa Chen asked. And I'm afraid that Mom will scold me. Chen Mengyan nodded. All right, then you aren't afraid that I will scold you. Papa Chen smiled. You said it yourself just now. You are my friend now, not my father. Chen Mengyan retorted. All right, then I will keep it a secret for you. Now, I am not your father, but your friend. Papa Chen promised. Dad, wait for me for a while. Chen Mengyan stood up and quickly ran back to her room. After a while, she came out with a stack of things. What is this? Papa Chen asked deliberately. Dad, I want you to help me find out. Did you have a mission today? If not, can you help me verify if these photos are photoshopped? Chen Mengyan handed the photos to her father. The novel had already said that the misunderstanding between little Mengyan and the protagonist was because of the appearance of the other female lead. Otherwise, little Mengyan wouldn't have tolerated the protagonist and other women if she didn't feel guilty. If this was considered as being depressed, then old you had nothing to say. Different people have different views. Chapter 100. What kind of photo is this? Papa Chen took the photo and pretended to look at it. Isn't this the photo of the police arresting someone? Where did you get it? Dad, why are you asking so many questions? Just tell me if you want to help or not. Chen Mengyan acted like a spoiled child. I definitely have to help, but since you treat me as a friend, shouldn't you tell me what happened to this photo? Papa Chen continued to act. Actually, the person in the photo is my classmate. Chen Mengyan hesitated and said. What classmate? Boyfriend? Papa Chen laughed. Of course not. It's just that we have a good relationship. Chen Mengyan blushed and said, Today, another classmate in my class gave me a stack of photos. They are the ones in your hand. Oh, then you should at least tell me the name of your classmate and who gave you the photos. Where did he get these photos from? Papa Chen asked casually. And his name is Yang Ming. The person who gave me the photos is Wang Jitao. He's our class monitor. He said that he got the photos from an editor on a website. Then, Chen Mengyan told her father about the so-called origin of the photos. Wang Jitao, you brat, you finally gave yourself away. A cold smile appeared on Father Chen's face. Even in your dreams, you would never have thought that I was Chen Mengyan's father, right? You dared to take out this photo and make my daughter cry because of it. Do you think I'll let you go just like that? Wang Jitao, who was fantasizing at home, suddenly sneezed. It's summer. Why would he sneeze? Wang Jitao was confused. Okay, Dad will investigate for you tomorrow. But Yonyan, let me tell you. If Yang Ming really went to find a prostitute and was arrested as a prostitute, we will definitely inform the school. The school will definitely punish him. If he didn't, then this matter might not be what you think. Papa Chen was afraid that Chen Mengyan wouldn't be able to focus on her studies, so he purposely gave her a hint. As expected, Chen Mengyan smiled after hearing it. It was a relaxed smile from the bottom of her heart. Dad, thank you. I will go back to my room to study. And, go ahead. Once there is news, Dad will tell you immediately. Papa Chen nodded. It seemed that his daughter's knot was untied. At night, young Ming was he. Feelings, can I just stop thinking about it? Young Ming turned over and turned on the table lamp. He took out the book that Chen Mengyan gave him, Latest Trends in the College Entrance Examination. Looking at the familiar notes, Yang Ming sighed. Maybe after a few days, Chen Mengyan would come around. I was too chauvinistic today. If I were to chase after Chen Mengyan today, would she give me a chance to explain myself? Forget it, let's not think about this for now. Wang Jitao, Yang Ming, will never let you go. I will ruin your reputation. Yang Ming thought fiercely. However, compared to Wang Jitao, there was still a huge gap. This strength referred to his economic strength and social status. Yang Ming could beat up Jin Gang on the streets, but he definitely wouldn't dare to beat up Wang Jitao. Jin Gang's biggest backer was his uncle, the school's political education director. However, Wang Jitao wasn't. If he beat him up, he would have plenty of opportunities to backstab him. Yang Ming didn't want his parents to be laid off because of him. Yang Ming believed that Wang Jitao had the ability to do so. As long as Father Wang gave Yang Father's factory some benefits, Yang Father's factory director would definitely be the first to lay off Yang Father. Money, in the end, it was still money. The only difference between him and Wang Jitao was money. As for social status, Yang Ming believed that as long as he had money, with his ability, it would be easy to make friends with some influential people. However, the most important thing now was to get into university. As long as he got into university, he would have enough time and reason to study how to make money. His parents wouldn't interfere with him. Thinking of this, Yang Ming fell into a deep sleep. Chen Mengyan, who knew the truth, also slept soundly. She had a dream, a very pleasant dream. She dreamt that the identification results of the photos were out. Her father told her that the photos were all computer-generated. Yang Ming came to find her the next day, and the two of them resolved the misunderstanding. Then, Chen Mengyan dreamt that she actually kissed Yang Ming. Until the alarm went off, Chen Mengyan was still smiling. In the dream, she didn't reject Yang Ming. How embarrassing. I believe that readers have already guessed that Father Chen was Chen Fei, the person in charge of Yang Ming's case. When he arrived at the police station, Chen Fei asked the technical department to collect the fingerprints on the photos. As for the authenticity of the photos, Chen Fei didn't think about it at all because these photos were definitely real. Captain Chen, is there any new progress in Wang Jitao's case? Xia Shui just came to work in the morning and heard her colleagues talking about Wang Jitao's case. For people like Xia Shui who just came out of the police academy, they always particularly hated evil, so they were particularly active in anything. Wang Jitao took out a stack of photos. Chen Fei pointed to the things on the table and said, at least it can prove that Wang Jitao is an insider. So, he said what his daughter told him yesterday. Wang Jitao is obviously lying. This isn't a police inspection at all. With this, we have reason to suspect that Wang Jitao is related to this matter. Xia Shui said, Captain Chen, let me take people to arrest Wang Jitao now. Xia Shui, don't mess around. Why are you in such a hurry? We haven't studied it in a meeting yet. Besides, the fingerprint record from the technical department hasn't come out yet. Chen Fei shook his head and said. That night, when Chen Fei got off work, Chen Mengyan couldn't wait to ask him about the photos. Chen Fei didn't know how to explain Yang Ming's case. He hadn't decided whether to tell his daughter the truth of the matter. So, he just said perfunctorily, "Yonyan, what can be determined now is that on the date of the photos, we didn't conduct an inspection of the earthly paradise. I also checked the case record, and there wasn't a prostitute named Yang Ming. So, we can preliminarily judge that Yang Ming didn't go to the prostitute." Really? Chen Mengyan was surprised and happy at the same time. It turned out that she really misunderstood Yang Ming. Really? As for the authenticity of the photos, this is not easy to identify. It requires very professional knowledge. Chen Fei said. So troublesome? Asked Chen Mengyan. But, she didn't care about the authenticity of the photos. Last night, she had already figured it out. When two people are together, the most important thing is to trust each other. Of course, you look at the newspaper. The photo of the South China tiger has been identified for so long, but the results were still divided into two groups. Chen Fei smiled. That's true. Chen Mengyan nodded and ran back to the room to study happily. Right, the hair clip. Chen Mengyan suddenly remembered the hair clip that she threw downstairs yesterday. She quickly put on her shoes and ran downstairs. Yonyan, where are you going? Chen Fei was a little inexplicable. Are you going out? No, I'm going downstairs to pick up something. I'll be back soon. Chen Mengyan came downstairs and looked under her room window. Why is it gone? Chen Mengyan frowned. She was anxious. This was the first gift that Yang Ming gave her. I can only blame myself for being too impulsive yesterday. I actually threw such a meaningful thing downstairs. But the grass under the window was empty. There was no shadow of the hair clip. Logically, this kind of thing with a diamond should reflect light and be easy to find. Was it picked up by someone else? Chen Mengyan was a little depressed. But she was unwilling. Our little Mengyan classmate never thought that she would care so much about something. Love is harmful. Sister Yen, what are you looking for? A little girl who was playing downstairs ran to Chen Mengyan and asked. Chen Mengyan looked up and found that it was the child of her father's colleague. Sister is looking for a hair clip. Can you help me find it? Chen Mengyan smiled. Hair clip. Is it pink with a little butterfly pattern? The little girl suddenly asked. NN. Chen Mengyan heard and nodded excitedly. Yes, yes. Did you see it? Yes, I picked it up and gave it to the guard of the community. I'll take you to get it. The little girl nodded. Chen Mengyan and the little girl came to the security room of the community. It was easy to get the hair clip from yesterday. Chen Mengyan looked left and right and found that it wasn't broken. Then, she was relieved. Ha, it seems that God is looking after me. Chen Mengyan thought so. But, why didn't Yang Ming call me? He should at least call and ask me, right? Chapter 101. After waiting for 2 days, Yang Ming still didn't call her. Chen Mengyan was very depressed. I'm a girl. Can't you take the initiative? In TV, when a girl makes a mistake, it's the boy who takes the initiative to apologize. Can't you allow me to throw a tantrum? Even if I misunderstood, you have to call and explain. As for Yang Ming, how could he not think about Chen Mengyan? It was just that he felt that Chen Mengyan actually believed Wang Jitao's slanderous words and didn't believe him. This made Yang Ming feel very uncomfortable. It's really embarrassing for my own woman to believe others. In this way, both of them who misunderstood each other were waiting for the other to call first. On Chen Fei's side, there was no breakthrough progress, but the current things were enough to summon Wang Jitao to come over to assist in the investigation. Therefore, on the day before the college entrance examination, poor student Wang Jitao was brought to the police station's interrogation room by a group of young people led by Xia Shui who abhorred evil. It had to be said that Wang Jitao's mouth was still quite tight. He refused to admit that he was involved in Yang Ming's framing incident. However, he also admitted that he lied. These photos weren't sold to him by a website editor, but from the waiter who confessed. But lying isn't a crime, right? After questioning for a night, they didn't get any useful information. Wang Jitao's father had already used his social connections to pressure Chen Fei. Finally, at 4:00 in the morning of the next day, Wang Jitao was released. However, Wang Jitao, who was illuminated by the light bulb for a night, had a blank mind. Although it didn't delay the college entrance examination, the papers were a mess. Wang Jitao, who could have gone to a first-grade college, might not even be able to go to a third-grade college now. But who could be blamed for this? June 7th. This was a day that made the examinees in the country excited, nervous, and excited. Those who were willing, unwilling, prepared, and unprepared, would all enter the most important stage of their life on this day, the college entrance exam. However, compared to the examinees, the ones who were more nervous were their parents. Who didn't want their children to have a good future? Yang Ming had arrived at the examination hall very early. His purpose was to observe the terrain. If his position was too strange, he would be able to take countermeasures in advance. Of course, this didn't happen. Yang Ming's seat wasn't at the end. He was at the third last table. Yang Ming placed his bag on the side of the podium. This was necessary because the desks were reversed and there was no place for personal belongings. Only stationery, drinks, towels for wiping sweat or facial tissues are allowed on the table. This position was quite good for Yang Ming. First of all, there were many people's papers in front of him that he could copy. On the right side of Yang Ming, there was a wall. On the other side of the wall was an aisle corridor. The other side of the corridor was also the examination hall. In other words, Yang Ming could refer to more people's answers. The first subject was Chinese. This was considered a weakness for Yang Ming because many of the answers were inductive and summative. There were also 2 essays. These couldn't be copied. However, other basic knowledge could be borrowed from others. Therefore, when the paper came out, Yang Ming began to focus on the essay. The content of the essay was to write an 800-word essay based on a paragraph of text. This paragraph of text was about a tourist, an eagle, and a sea turtle. This kind of nonsensical essay was the best for Yang Ming. After a series of fabrications to explain his point of view, he made an inductive conclusion and an essay was written. The other questions were easy to deal with. He just had to follow the synthesis and induction written by others. It was estimated that the score of this paper wouldn't be low. The other subjects were also done in this way. Yang Ming estimated that there wouldn't be any problem to be admitted to Songjiang Industry University. But what could he do even if he was admitted? When he thought of Chen Mengyan, Yang Ming's mood began to be depressed again. Forget it. I will just treat it as winning glory for my parents. Yang Ming thought in his heart. In fact, although this matter affected Yang Ming's mood, it couldn't affect Yang Ming's results. Yang Ming's results came from his special ability. It had nothing to do with his exam mood. Even if his mood was bad, as long as his special ability was still in his body, Yang Ming could still get good results. The pitiful thing was that Wang Jitao wanted to harm Yang Ming, but he shot himself in the foot. On the first day of the exam, Wang Jitao couldn't use the word bad to describe it. The Chinese essay was turned into a fantasy novel. The essay topic was Reborn as a Tortoise. This wasn't the end of it. The H-plot appeared n times. He would be grateful if he didn't get his marks deducted. Wang Jitao didn't want to do this, but his brain was dizzy. He didn't know what he was writing. When his spirit was a little better the next day, he thought of the stupid essay he wrote on the first day. He knew that he had no hope in the college entrance examination. His mood was very low, and he didn't perform well in the following subjects. After the college entrance examination, the first thing Yang Ming wanted to do was to study how he could make money. Yang Ming first thought was to buy a lottery ticket, but at this time, Song Jiang didn't have such lottery tickets. So, he had to think of another way. After the college entrance examination, Yang Ming received a call from Zhang Bin. Yang Ming, how was the exam? Is it okay to go to Songjiang Industry University? It's okay. How about you? Yang Ming knew that Zhang Bin's grades weren't good. With his standard, it was good to go to college. Me? You know my standard. But my dad said that as long as it's not too bad, we can find someone to go to XX College in Songjiang Industry University. Zhang Bin said, we still go to school together. It's just that my graduation certificate is different from yours. But it doesn't matter. My dad has arranged a way for me. After graduation, I will sell jewelry with him. It's better to have a good father than to learn mathematics and physics. This sentence was right. Yang Ming was a little speechless. Zhang Bin's grades were very bad, but he could inherit the family business in the future. Zhang Bin's father was in the jewelry business. Although it wasn't as good as Wang Jitao's family Xiongfeng Group, it was still a rich man. So, Zhang Bin didn't need to worry about money. In my opinion, you don't even need to go to college. You can just help your dad directly. Yang Ming smiled. How can that be? I still want to play for 2 more years. Besides, I want to study business management in the future. My dad also agrees. After all, the management experience of the older generation isn't very suitable in the future. Zhang Bin said. That's right. Right, why are you looking for me? Asked Yang Ming. How about going out for a walk? You are so bored at home. Zhang Bin suggested. In the class, he had a good relationship with Yang Ming. Both of them sat at the same table. They were both bad students, so their relationship was relatively close. After that, Yang Ming suddenly became a force to be reckoned with, but he didn't despise Zhang Bin because of this. This made Zhang Bin feel very happy. He made a real friend. Okay, I have nothing to do. Where do you want to go? Asked Yang Ming. Come to my house, said Zhang Bin. Damn, where is your house? I haven't been there before, said Yang Ming. Huashang District. You can take a taxi here. Hurry up. I will reimburse you. Zhang Bin knew the situation of Yang Ming's family, so he said directly. Okay, this is what you said. I will go around Songjiang. You have to reimburse me. Yang Ming wasn't polite. Okay, I am looking at the watch. If you don't arrive in 15 minutes, it will be invalid, said Zhang Bin immediately. No problem. Yang Ming hung up the phone, put on his shoes and went downstairs. Out of the community, he directly stopped a taxi and went straight to Zhang Bin's house. After the college entrance examination, Chen Mengyan had nothing to do. She sat next to the computer and looked at the web page in boredom. Damn Yang Ming, why haven't you called me yet? Chen Mengyan raised her small fist and said angrily. However, at noon, Chen Mengyan couldn't help it. She picked up the phone and called Yang Ming. I don't care if I am reserved or not. I am going all out. However, after the phone was connected, no one answered for a long time. This Yang Ming, he didn't stay at home after the exam. Where did he go? Chen Mengyan hung up the phone with some frustration. She wanted to call again later, but Qin Mengyan couldn't find the courage just now. She wanted to reach out a few times, but she retracted her hand. At this moment, Yang Ming just went out of the house. Thus, the fate of the two people once again brushed past each other. Yang Ming. When Yang Ming got out of the car, Zhang Bin ran over. It seemed that he had been waiting here for a long time. Yang Ming wanted to pay the fare, but Zhang Bin directly handed the driver a 10 yuan bill. From Yang Ming's house to here, it was 9 yuan. Plus 1 yuan of fuel surcharge, it was exactly 10 yuan. Yang Ming didn't argue with him. He knew that Zhang Bin's family was rich, so he didn't care about this. What Yang Ming lacked most now was money. Chapter 102. Sit anywhere. You're welcome. Yang Ming, what do you want to eat? There are fruits on the coffee table. Help yourself. Zhang Bin opened the refrigerator and took out 2 bottles of drinks. He handed one to Yang Ming. Wang Laoji. Okay, I've been heaty these 2 days. Yang Ming took it and didn't hold back. He opened it and poured it into his mouth. What's there to be heaty about? You're proud of your relationship and exam. Zhang Bin sat beside Yang Ming. Relationship? Hee hee. Yang Ming smiled bitterly. I don't know how Qin Mengyan is doing. What's wrong, Yang Ming? Did you have a fight with your sister-in-law? Zhang Bin asked. I guess so. Let's not talk about this anymore. Yang Ming shook his head. Yang Ming, let me tell you. Girls need to be coaxed. You're a man. You have to take the initiative. Zhang Bin said, don't blame me for not reminding you. Qin Mengyan is such an outstanding girl. She has a lot of pursuers. Don't let them take advantage of you. Okay. I know. I know what I'm doing. Yang Ming was in a dilemma. From a relationship point of view, he was reluctant. But from the perspective of things, he felt that he couldn't take the initiative to be friendly with Qin Mengyan. When he saw Wang Jitao looking for Qin Mengyan, he didn't think much about it. Because he knew that his girlfriend wasn't monitored every day. He had to give her enough trust. Even if Wang Jitao looked for Qin Mengyan, Yang Ming didn't think that Qin Mengyan would do anything to hurt him. So, he gave Qin Mengyan trust and privacy. But on the contrary, Qin Mengyan listened to some of Wang Jitao's slanderous words and doubted him. This made Yang Ming feel very disappointed. Then I won't say anything else. That's all. By the way, let's go to my dad's company later. He just got a new batch of jade pendants. You can pick one and give it to sister-in-law. She will be fine the next day. Zhang Bin said. How can that be? How embarrassing. Yang Ming quickly refused. Jewelry was very expensive. Yang Ming didn't dare to accept it casually. Hey! A broken jade pendant wasn't anything valuable. It only cost around 100 yuan. When I go to university, my dad said that he will prepare 20 to 30 of them for me to carry with me. If I see any girl, I will give them to her. I will cast a wide net and focus on nurturing her. Zhang Bin said with a lewd smile. All right, let's talk about it when the time comes. Yang Ming heard Zhang Bin's words and knew that these things were really nothing to their family. After playing the Wii and Xbox 360 at Zhang Bin's house for a while, Yang Ming couldn't help but be amazed. There was actually such a fun game console. When I have the money, I will buy one too. In the afternoon, Yang Ming and Zhang Bin came to the jewelry market at Changjiang Road. Zhang Bin's family company was here. Of course, there were many stores in other shopping malls. Dad, this is my good brother, Yang Ming. He is the top student in our class. He is also preparing to enter Songjiang Industry University. Zhang Bin introduced him to a middle-aged man with a square face who was around 40 years old. Welcome, welcome. Once Zhang Jifang heard that his son was the top student in his class, he immediately smiled. Especially when he knew that Yang Ming was going to enter Songjiang Industry University, he was very enthusiastic. Who wouldn't want their child to play with a good student? Yang Ming, take care of Zhang Bin in school in the future. Don't worry, Uncle Zhang. Yang Ming and I are good brothers. Yang Ming said with a smile. It seemed that Zhang Bin's father was quite approachable. No wonder Zhang Bin was never worried when he messed up in his exams. Dad, I brought Yang Ming here to pick a few pieces of jewelry for sister-in-law. Oh, I mean Yang Ming's girlfriend. Zhang Bin said directly. Ah. Zhang Bin. Yang Ming was a little embarrassed when he heard that. How could he say such things in front of his parents? This Zhang Bin, isn't he looking for trouble? Girlfriend. Zhang Jifang was stunned and immediately scolded, Zhang Bin, look at Yang Ming. Not only is he good in his studies, but he also has a girlfriend before entering university. When are you going to bring one back for me? Don't play those erotic videos all day long. You should learn from Yang Ming. Ha! Yang Ming was stunned. He sweated profusely. There are actually such parents. Yes. Wait until I enter university. I will definitely bring one back for you. Zhang Bin said to Yang Ming quietly and said to Zhang Jifang. And this is what you said. Zhang Jifang nodded and then said to Yang Ming, you should help Zhang Bin with his matters. You should also help me check on him. Okay. Yang Ming sweated again. Dad, where is the new batch of jade pendants? Zhang Bin asked. Oh, you are talking about the batch from last week. I sorted out a portion and sold it at the store. There are still some left in the warehouse. Zhang Jifang said, the quality of these jade pendants isn't very good. They are substandard goods. You should bring Yang Ming to pick a better one. It's too cold to give away those jade pendants. Then, should I bring Yang Ming to pick some gold and silver jewelry? Zhang Bin asked. Sure, you can decide for those that are less than 1,000 yuan. Zhang Jifang said straightforwardly. Uncle Zhang, it doesn't have to be so expensive. Just pick a jade pendant. Gifts don't have to be too good. It's just a thought. When Yang Ming heard that it was 1,000 yuan, he quickly declined. Then it's up to you. Zhang Bin, you take care of Yang Ming. I still have something to do. Zhang Jifang said. Dad, you do what you need to do. Zhang Bin nodded casually. Yang Ming didn't know much about jade pendants. He just casually picked one that looked good and held it in his hand. Yang Ming, you should pick more. After all, they are all my dad's. This guy is rich. Let's just treat it as killing the rich to help the poor. Zhang Bin suggested. Zhang Bin, if your dad heard this, wouldn't he be pissed to death? You also said that the pendant is your dad's. If it's yours, I won't hold back. Yang Ming laughed. That's true. Wait until I inherit the family business. You can take whatever you want. Zhang Bin nodded after listening. I'll drive a truck here. Yang Ming shook his head. Sure. You can even drive a tank here. Zhang Bin said after listening. At night, after Zhang Jifang finished his work, he invited Zhang Bin and Yang Ming out for a meal. Zhang Bin's mother was in charge of the store. She got off work late, so she didn't come over. Zhang Jifang's car was a Chrysler 300C. It was black in color and looked very stylish. Uncle Zhang, this car isn't bad. Yang Ming praised. It's a business car. It's not expensive. It's only around 300,000. Zhang Jifeng laughed. I like this car's style. It's very manly when you drive it. Indeed, the Chrysler 300C had a very expressive American design style and excellent German technology. This vintage luxury business car was favored by many businessmen. Yang Ming also liked this car. However, 300,000 was still an astronomical figure for him. Zhang Jifeng drove the car to a high-end seafood restaurant near the labor park. After he got out of the car, he passed the key to the parking lot security guard and asked him to park the car for him. Then, he brought Zhang Bin and Yang Ming into the hotel. Yang Ming had the experience of going to earthly paradise. He didn't feel strange coming to such a high-end hotel. He calmly followed the waiter to a booth. Zhang Jifeng didn't hesitate. He ordered 4 to 5 dishes in one go. He only put down the menu when Yang Ming stopped him and said that he couldn't eat anymore. Zhang Bin, in a few days, I'm going to Yunnan for a business deal. Do you want to go with me? Zhang Jifeng poured himself a glass of beer. Follow you to Yunnan. It's meaningless for me to be left behind when you have to do your business. Zhang Bin shook his head. Why is it only you? Isn't there still Yang Ming? You two can have fun by yourselves. I'll just give you the money. Zhang Jifeng continued, since the National Higher Education Entrance Examination has ended, you can relax a little. Great. I'll go. Zhang Bin heard that he could go with Yang Ming, so he immediately shouted happily. Previously, he went with Zhang Jifeng before. However, he was a kid and a group of 40 to 50 years old people. He couldn't have fun. I'll go. That's not good, right? Yang Ming was a little moved. Since he was young, he hadn't been to other places because of his family condition. With such a good opportunity in front of him, Yang Ming was naturally happy. However, he was afraid that it would bring trouble to Zhang Jifeng. What's not good about it? Logically speaking, I'm the one begging you to go with Zhang Bin. Zhang Jifeng said, if you don't go, Zhang Bin definitely won't go. Take it as uncle begging you. Uncle Zhang, please don't say that. I'll go. Since Yang Ming saw that Zhang Jifeng said so, he couldn't say anything else. He quickly agreed, but he didn't insist. Uncle Zhang, I still have to go back home and discuss with my parents. That's easy. If they don't agree, you can give Uncle Zhang a call. I'll help you talk to them. Zhang Jifeng said. A meal cost more than 1,000 yuan. However, Zhang Jifeng didn't care. He seemed to think that this was a very common thing. Yang Ming sighed. He couldn't even reach the well-off level of Zhang Bin's family. How could he compete with Wang Jitao's family? It seemed that he had to find a way to get rich quickly with his special ability. Chapter 103. At night, Yang Ming told his parents about the idea of going to Yunnan with Zhang Bin. Yang's father and mother Yang agreed, but they were worried. Big Ming, it's not good for you to eat and live in other people's houses. Tomorrow, Dad will withdraw some money for you. We still have a lot of money from the lottery. Dad, I still have some money on hand. I haven't spent the prize money from the heroic deed. Yang Ming's account had 20,000 yuan. It seemed like he could use it to do something. Oh yeah, speaking of heroic deeds, I have to remind you that it's best to think twice before you act. When you're outside, you have to be careful at all times. Don't get into unnecessary trouble. If you encounter any difficulties, let the adults help you. You and Zhang Bin shouldn't decide on your own. Yang Dehai reminded him. Dad, I know. Don't worry. I won't take the initiative to get into trouble. Yang Ming nodded and promised. In fact, even if his parents didn't say anything, Yang Ming would still be careful. Yunnan was at the border. It was connected to Myanmar and the Golden Triangle. There were a lot of drug dealers. These were all international criminal organizations. They were different from Yuxiangde. Yang Ming couldn't afford to offend them. And then I won't say much. Don't bring too much cash with you. Deposit it in your bank card and withdraw it when you need it. Oh yeah, the son of Aunt Wang, who works with your mom in the community, is from XX Bank. Ask him to help you apply for a gold card. The withdrawal fee can be reduced by half. Yang Dehai thought about it and said, Okay, that's great. Although the withdrawal fee was reduced by half, it was better to save as much as possible. Besides, applying for a gold card wasn't a problem. The college entrance exam results would be out around June 25th, so it wouldn't delay anything if he went out. On June 11th at 5 a.m., Zhang Jifang's Chrysler appeared on time at Yang Ming's house. Today, Zhang Jifang's driver was driving. Zhang Jifang sat in the front passenger seat. Zhang Bin sat in the back seat. When he saw Yang Ming coming, he quickly opened the door and took over Yang Ming's luggage. Why did you bring so many things? Didn't I tell you? You don't have to bring anything with you when you go out to play. Just bring someone with you. If you lack anything, just spend money to buy it. I only brought a few sets of clothes. I didn't bring anything else. In fact, Yang Ming's bag was stuffed with a lot of daily necessities by Mother Yang, such as soap, towels, and toothbrushes. Yang Ming was really helpless, but he couldn't refuse. Yang Ming knew that these things were definitely available in big hotels. For a boss like Zhang Jifang, he definitely wouldn't stay in a small hotel on the street. You don't have to bring clothes either. Look at me, I didn't bring anything. We can just buy some local clothes. Zhang Bin complained as he threw Yang Ming's travel bag into the trunk of the car. Perhaps because it was too early, there were not many cars on the road. It only took them half an hour to reach the airport. Zhang Jifang's driver sent the three of them to the security checkpoint before he left. Sir, please open your luggage. A staff member said to Yang Ming. What's wrong? Yang Ming asked curiously. I don't seem to have brought any dangerous items, right? There is a fruit knife in your bag. Knives are not allowed on the plane. The staff member said. Knives are not allowed. Yang Ming was stunned. He had never been on a plane before, so of course, he didn't know. This fruit knife was put in by Mother Yang. She was afraid that Yang Ming wouldn't have the tools to peel the fruit when he ate it. Yang Ming was a bit confused. Is there such a rule? Luckily, he was going through a separate security checkpoint. He didn't have to go through the same passage as Zhang Jifang and Zhang Bin. If not, it would be a bit embarrassing. Yang Ming had no choice but to take out the fruit knife and pass it to the staff member. Yang Ming didn't have many people queuing in the passage, so he was done quickly. However, Zhang Jifang and Zhang Bin were still waiting. Since he was bored, Yang Ming casually looked at the businessmen who passed by with big and small bags. His curiosity made him want to see what other people brought when they went out. In front of him was a young woman who was carrying a small box. Yang Ming casually glanced at it. There was a pile of cosmetics and underwear. And, what is that? Damn, it's actually a fake penis. Is it a self-comforter? I really didn't expect that she would have such a thing in her bag when she looked so decent. Yang Ming shook his head and began to search for the next target. Yang Ming suddenly felt that it was quite fun to peek at other people's luggage. Wait. What is that? A large knife. Damn, Yang Ming was so angry. I wasn't even allowed to bring a fruit knife. The man in sunglasses in front of me actually let me in with a large knife. Yang Ming said to the staff member with dissatisfaction, "Hey. I only brought a fruit knife and you confiscated it." The person in front of me had a knife that was much longer than mine. "Why didn't you confiscate his?" The staff member was stunned and then asked Yang Ming calmly, "How did you know that he had a knife in his bag?" "Don't worry about how I know." "Why? Are you feeling guilty? Are you in cahoots with him?" Yang Ming suddenly thought, could it be that the staff member and the man in sunglasses were together, so they let him in? This wasn't Yang Ming looking for trouble. He was just bored waiting for Zhang Bin and his son. When he saw that his things were confiscated and the person in front of him was fine, he was a little unhappy. "Are you sure that he has a knife in his bag?" The staff member asked. "You know, lying at the airport may be subject to legal liability." "I'm sure." Yang Ming nodded. The staff member gave a look to the person on the side. The person immediately walked to the side of the man in sunglasses. "Sorry, sir. Please cooperate with us to do another security check." "Do it again." "Why? Didn't you do it already?" "What do you mean?" The man in sunglasses said with some dissatisfaction. "Cooperating with the security staff is the responsibility and obligation of every passenger. Please abide by it." The staff member said. "Damn. Is there a mistake?" The man in sunglasses reluctantly followed the staff member back to the security desk. Because of Yang Ming's report, the security staff carefully checked the luggage of the man in sunglasses. As a result, they found a lead umbrella at the bottom. There was a knife in the umbrella. Yang Ming shook his head. It turned out that the X-ray couldn't penetrate lead items, and the umbrella was at the bottom of the luggage, so it was possible that it wasn't found during the inspection. Nowadays, airport security in many places have been replaced with the latest X-ray machine. It could penetrate metal, and the inspection was very strict. However, because of the plot of the novel, it was set that the X-ray machine in Songjiang Airport couldn't penetrate lead items. However, at this moment, Yang Ming already regretted it. Although in a sense, I did a good thing. This guy who took a knife on the plane definitely wanted to do something, but what if someone noticed me and asked me how I knew that this guy had a knife in his bag? Yang Ming didn't want to expose his ability. Thinking of this, Yang Ming took advantage of the chaos at this moment and quickly walked in the direction of the departure hall in front. "Yang Ming, why are you walking so fast?" Zhang Bin just passed the security check and saw Yang Ming walking in front, so he quickly shouted. Seeing that Zhang Bin caught up with him, Yang Ming hesitated and said, "I just found a knife at the security check. I was afraid that there would be an accident, so I left first." "Oh. So that's it." Zhang Bin shook his head. There are too many crazy people in this world. Fortunately, until the plane took off, no one came to find Yang Ming. Probably because the two security staff were more serious, they didn't care about Yang Ming, the informant. And the matter was as Yang Ming expected. The two staff almost lost their jobs because of a moment of negligence. How would they have the mind to care about Yang Ming? "Here." Zhang Bin took out 2 game consoles from his backpack and handed one to Yang Ming. NDSL. You bought 2. Yang Ming looked at the silver machine in his hand and looked at the white machine in Zhang Bin's hand and asked, "You didn't buy another one because of me, right?" "Yeah, your one is a domestic limited edition platinum. I just bought it yesterday." Zhang Bin said, "I found that Mario Kart can be played online by 2 people, so I bought one for you. Let's play together. But I am still used to the original old one, so I gave you the new one. This thing is more than 1,000 yuan, right?" Yang Ming was speechless. He is really rich. Yang Ming now knew what a rich person is. And it seems that Zhang Bin isn't the kind of person who is particularly rich. Fortunately, Chen Mengyan isn't the kind of girl who despises the poor and favors the rich. Otherwise, I would have lost to Wang Jitao before I could compete. Chapter 104. At around 2:00 in the afternoon, the three of them arrived at Yunnan. Zhang Jifang's business partner was there to meet them. Once they got off the plane, the other party welcomed them warmly. "Boss Zhang, how have you been?" The other party shook hands with Zhang Jifang. "Boss Wu, you even changed your car to a Hummer. It seems like you earned quite a bit this year." Zhang Jifang laughed. "You flatter me. It's all thanks to you guys who took care of me," Wu Fatsai said. Wu Fatsai's name was interesting. When he was young, his family was poor. His parents hoped that he would be rich in the future, so they gave him the name Wu Fatsai. His surname was Wu, so it sounded like he wasn't rich. But Wu Fatsai had made a lot of money in the past few years. From a few thousand yuan at the beginning, he had earned hundreds of millions. "Why? How's the goods this time?" "You know that I'm not an expert, so I rarely play this game. I only play when the goods have a high quality," Zhang Jifang said. "Boss Zhang, don't worry. The stones from Myanmar are definitely good. If it wasn't because we were drinking at the table, I wouldn't have thought of helping you," Wu Fatsai said. "How's the price?" This was the question that Zhang Jifang was most concerned about. "A goods. The price is about the same as B goods. 500 yuan per piece," Wu Fatsai said. 500. So expensive. Wasn't it 200 the last time I was here?" Zhang Jifang asked exaggeratedly. "My boss Zhang, you are in this business. How could you not know? The last time it was B goods, and the stones weren't as big as this one." Wu Fatsai said, "You will know when you see the goods tomorrow." Wu Fatsai had already arranged a place for them to stay. It was a 3-star hotel. The environment wasn't bad. Since it was arranged by others, Zhang Jifang couldn't be picky. Moreover, this place was really good. After placing the luggage, Wu Fatsai arranged a table for Zhang Jifang to welcome him. Zhang Jifang saw this and knew that even if tomorrow's goods weren't ideal, he had to take a few 100,000 yuan as a gesture. But in the business field, it was a matter of face. Although the benefits came first, under the situation of not harming both parties' benefits, face had to be taken care of. When they returned to the hotel at night, Zhang Jifang gave Zhang Bin 10,000 yuan and said, "The two of you can go and play by yourselves tomorrow. If you don't have enough money, call me again." "No problem." Zhang Bin quickly took the money. Usually, Zhang Jifang would give him a few hundred yuan as pocket money. This was the first time he was so generous. "By the way, Uncle Zhang, what were you and Uncle Wu talking about today?" Yang Ming was a little curious. Just now, when he was at the table, he was confused. A broken stone could be sold for 500 yuan. How could there be such a profitable thing in this world? Yang Ming really couldn't understand how Wu Fatsai could earn a net worth of hundreds of millions just by reselling stones for 3 years. What kind of speed was this? If he could find a similar line of work, it would only be a matter of time before he surpassed Wang Jitao. "Oh, you are talking about the jadeite stone." Zhang Jifang drank a little too much. He wanted to show off in front of the younger generation. If it was a normal day, Zhang Jifang could still maintain the dignity of an elder. Now, he was like Yang Ming's buddy. He sat on the bed of the hotel and started to talk. "Yang Ming, you know that Uncle Zhang is in the jewelry business. Other than gold, jade is also one of my most important business projects. Real jade has 2 types, soft and hard. Usually, jade refers to nephrite. Hard jade has another popular name, jadeite. The stones that we talked about with your Uncle Wu today were unopened jadeite stones. In other words, we don't know if they are jadeite stones. Because jadeite has a few grades, the best ones are the ones that we are talking about. Those that are behind are the inferior ones. Jadeite stones look like stones, so we usually call them stones in the industry. The trade of jadeite stones is the most mysterious trade in the jewelry industry. Its mystery lies in the word gambling. Therefore, the buyer is also known as gambling on jadeite and stone. The surface of the jadeite stone usually has a layer of skin. Due to oxidation, the skin has become maroon, or various other colors. Generally, from the surface, you can't tell its true appearance at first glance. Even today, with the advancement of science, there is no instrument that can quickly determine whether the jadeite stone is jadeite or broken jade. At your uncle's level, I only play around occasionally. This kind of thing requires a lot of luck. Moreover, people don't even allow you to bring equipment to gamble on jadeite stones. It was the first time that Yang Ming heard of such a trade in this world. Isn't this almost the same as buying lottery tickets? Lottery, wait, Yang Ming seemed to have grasped something. Uncle Zhang, I want to go to the stone gambling place with you tomorrow. Can I? Of course, why not? If you are interested, Uncle can give you a few pieces. You and Zhang Bin can play with them by hand. Zhang Jifang said. Yang Ming, let's not go. What's there to see? Why don't we go around and play? Zhang Bin obviously wasn't interested in this. Zhang Bin, I haven't seen him before. I'm curious. It won't take up much time, so let's go and have a look. Yang Ming suggested. Yeah, Zhang Bin, what's wrong with you, kid? Yang Ming is the guest, and you are the host. It's natural for the host to accompany the guest. Alright, if you aren't willing, I won't give you pocket money in the future. Of course, Zhang Jifang wanted to let Zhang Bin come into contact with this industry. Because of his huge family business, Zhang Bin would definitely inherit it in the future. If Zhang Bin had more contact, it wouldn't do any harm to him in the future. Ah. Alright then. I'll go. When Zhang Bin heard that he wasn't going to give money, he immediately became listless. Yang Ming smiled. How could he not understand Zhang Jifang's meaning? But he didn't expose it. It was fine as long as he could achieve his goal. When he returned to the room at night, Zhang Bin was dissatisfied. He asked bitterly, Yang Ming, why are you interested in these things? It's so boring. I'm just curious. Yang Ming explained. Big brother, can't you be curious about something useful? I was still hoping to get a girl. Zhang Bin complained. Get a girl? Forget about Yunnan. Haven't you read a novel by Wesley? It's about a person who had a one-night stand here. In the end, the one-night stand was a virgin. She wanted to force the person to marry her. Of course, the person didn't agree, so he ran away. In the end, the girl was angry and poisoned him. In the end, the person almost exploded and died. Yang Ming said. Damn, big brother, don't scare me. Why is what you said so pseudoscientific? Zhang Bin couldn't help but feel a chill. Science. Yang Ming laughed. But in this world, there were a lot of things that couldn't be explained by science. Just like my special ability. Is it science or pseudoscience? You said it was science, right? With the current level of technology, it couldn't be explained. If you said it was pseudoscience, then how could you explain the phenomenon on Yang Ming's body? Therefore, things that couldn't be explained by science couldn't be explained by pseudoscience. What I said was true. If you don't believe me, you can try. Yang Ming decided to tease him. Aw. Damn, if I knew this, I wouldn't have come to this damn place. Damn, I'm so unlucky. Zhang Bin fell on the bed dejectedly. Hee hee, I'm just scaring you. In fact, there are very few people who know how to use voodoo. In Yunnan, only the Miao people know how to use voodoo. Of course, not all of the Miao people know how to use voodoo. Only a small number of people know how to use voodoo, and this small number of people usually live in isolated villages. They don't interact with others. Yang Ming looked at Zhang Bin's appearance and couldn't help but find it funny. Besides, these people have a rule in their tribe. They are not allowed to use voodoo on unrelated people. Damn, I still feel that this is mysterious enough. No, I've decided. Zhang Bin suddenly shouted. You've decided. What did you decide? Yang Ming thought that he decided not to pick up girls here. I've decided. Before I pick up a girl, I have to check her ID card to see if she's from a minority ethnic group. Zhang Bin said. Yang Ming was speechless. Is it that exaggerated? I'm just applying what I just learned. It's just a casual remark. This night, Yang Ming slept very well. Although the environment changed, Yang Ming's heart was very stable. This was because he finally found a place where he could use his strength. Even if he wasn't sure, he could at least try. The next morning, after breakfast, Zhang Jifang gave Wu Fatsai a call. Then, he brought Zhang Bin and Yang Ming to Yunnan's Tingchong. This was one of the main distribution centers of jadeite in the country. However, this was only a small matter. This was because the jewelry merchants who had connections didn't pick up their goods in Tingchong anymore. Instead, they went directly to Yangon to pick up their goods. For example, Wu Fatsai would pick up his goods in Yangon and sell them back in China. Chapter 105. Tingchong County was only 80 kilometers away from the world's only source of raw jade, Myanmar. In the 70s, the country introduced a policy to develop foreign trade. Tingchong's raw jade business started to prosper again. In the decades after that, Tingchong played an important role in the global jade trade center. That was the spring of Tingchong's jade industry. In 1996, the Myanmar government announced that private trading of raw jade was not allowed. They blocked the smuggling route of Myanmar merchants. Most of the jade trade returned to Myanmar. That was the beginning of the winter of Tingchong's jade trade. Powerful merchants went directly to Myanmar's Hua City or Yangon to get their goods. Tingchong became a place for small and medium merchants. Jewelry merchants like Zhang Jifang could only go to Tingchong to get their goods. He had enough money to go to Myanmar, but he didn't have the experience. For example, the raw jade auction in Yangon was sold in piles. A pile of stones could be sold for hundreds of thousands or even millions. People like Zhang Jifang who didn't have the experience only had two options. One was to get a jade and his value would skyrocket to hundreds of millions. The other was to go bankrupt and buy a pile of junk. Therefore, Zhang Jifang would rather buy a normal raw jade for 500 yuan a kilogram than gamble in Yangon. Wu Fatsai had already rushed back to Tingchong last night. Because Zhang Jifang had just arrived in Yunnan, he rested in Kunming for a night. There was no flight from Kunming to Tingchong. They could only take a bus. They left at 8 a.m. and arrived at 8 p.m. Because Yang Ming and the rest followed, the hotel in Kunming was cancelled. On the bus, Yang Ming tried his best to ask Zhang Jifang about jade. Uncle Zhang, 500 yuan for a kilogram of stone, can you get your money back? That's hard to say. If you are lucky, you can earn a lot. If you are unlucky, you can break even. Of course, there are times when you lose money. You can only get junk jade. That's a small probability. If you buy a few thousand stones, you can at least get some good jade, right? Zhang Jifeng smiled. Look at the jade pendants sold on the streets. They are actually jade, but there are too many impurities. They are considered bad jade. Usually, when I get this kind of stone, I will sell it to the small craftsmen. They will process it and sell it. I keep my own goods are A grade or B grade goods. In fact, sometimes one stone can earn back all the cost. Can't you see the quality of the stone from the outside? Asked Yang Ming. Of course you can't see it. Not to mention looking from the outside, even with an X-ray from the inside, it was not easy to determine the quality of the jade. They could only open it up and see. Of course, if anyone had X-ray vision, they would be able to see it directly. Ha, just kidding. Zhang Jifeng laughed. If someone had such a special ability, he wouldn't be here to open the jade. Why not? Why? Yang Ming's heart skipped a beat when the speaker spoke without any intention of the listener. Until yesterday, he was determined to study jade gambling rules. Of S. Wang's. Until yesterday, he made a decision until yesterday's is calm. Now that he heard Zhang Jifeng's words, there was a better business than jade gambling, so Yang Ming was curious. What's so strange about that? Think about it. If you have this ability, why would you need to open jade? Just go to the Pacific Ocean or deep in the mountains. With your X-ray vision, you can find any treasure. This is much better than jade gambling. Zhang Jifeng smiled. Yang Ming broke into a cold sweat. Although the money that Zhang Jifeng mentioned was quick, why did it feel unrealistic? Let Yang Ming go to the Pacific Ocean to find treasures? Let's not talk about whether he could find them. Even the initial investment wasn't a small amount. First of all, he had to have his own boat. He had to hire a lot of people. Then, fishing was a problem. Just thinking about it gave him a headache. At least, Yang Ming couldn't do it now. Going to the deep mountains to find treasures. Wouldn't that require the help of digging equipment? Also, it was another matter if the local government would allow him to dig. That's true. Yang Ming didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Also, for example, go to Africa. There's also stone gambling, but the gambling is diamond ores. It's more difficult, but more exciting. If you buy a bunch of ores, you can become rich overnight or even become a beggar overnight. Zhang Jifeng continued. Well, the pole sent me to Africa again. Yang Ming shook his head. The jade gambling in front of him was much more realistic. Also, the price was acceptable to him. If it was more expensive, Yang Ming didn't have the capital. Because he chatted with Zhang Bin until late into the night, both of them slept on the bus. Zhang Jifeng was full of energy. He was watching a Hong Kong movie from the 90s with great interest. At night, the three of them arrived at Tingchong. Wu Fatsai kindly arranged a meal and a place to stay. They also agreed to go to the warehouse early in the morning to select some stones. Because Yang Ming and Zhang Bin slept in the afternoon, they were full of energy after the meal. Zhang Jifeng drank too much, so he went back to the hotel to sleep. Yang Ming, how about we go out for a walk? Zhang Bin wasn't willing to stay in the hotel so early. It was only 9 o'clock. Tingchong had a tropical monsoon climate. The average temperature was 14.8 degrees Celsius. There was no cold in winter and no heat in summer, so the climate was refreshing. Yang Ming looked at the bustling night scene and couldn't help but sigh. This county is actually so bustling. The night market here mostly sold small things like jade. Zhang Bin's family was in this business, so naturally, he didn't care about these things. Because the things here couldn't possibly be good. Two handsome guys, do you want to have some fun? A prostitute stood in front of the two of them. No. Yang Ming opened his mouth. Before he could finish his sentence, he saw Zhang Bin and the pimp talking. How much is it per time? Zhang Bin asked. 1 hour is 400, the whole night is 800. Full service. The pimp saw that someone was hooked, so he quickly said. 1 hour is 400. Do you think I'm a fool? Zhang Bin said, 200 yuan, the national price. 200 is 200, but you have to wear a condom. The pimp saw that the person in front of him was a veteran, so he said helplessly. Damn, I wouldn't dare to do such a dangerous thing. Who knows if it would be a lousy chick? Zhang Bin nodded and said, lead the way. Zhang Bin. Yang Ming quickly pulled Zhang Bin's sleeve. Are you serious? Are you coming out to play? I just want to have some fun. Why, Yang Ming, don't tell me you're still a virgin. Zhang Bin looked at Yang Ming with a smile. Of course not. Yang Ming was embarrassed. In today's world, women are most afraid of others saying that they are not a virgin, but men are most afraid of others saying that they are a virgin. It sounds a bit contradictory, huh? But in fact, it is like this. Oh. I understand. Zhang Bin said with an I understand look. Don't worry, I won't tell Meng Yan's sister-in-law. This is our little secret. Yang Ming was helpless. He was not a casual person. Although sometimes he was not a person when he was casual, that was with the girl he liked. He was still somewhat resistant to a union without feelings. Seeing that Zhang Bin was in high spirits, Yang Ming was helpless. He had to follow Zhang Bin to a bath center. For example, the woman who solicited customers just now generally had an agreement with the bath center. She received a commission. Her income was linked to Yang Ming's consumption. Zhang Bin skillfully picked a beautiful lady and hugged her in his arms. It could be seen that he often visited this kind of place. Yang Ming, who was a veteran, was now embarrassed. What's wrong, Yang Ming? Zhang Bin looked at Yang Ming, who was standing there motionless, and whispered in his ear, Dude, are you really a virgin? Yang Ming didn't know how to answer. From a physiological point of view, he was no longer a virgin. He had a relationship with a little girl named Lin Jiyun, but he couldn't remember the feeling at that time. So from a psychological point of view, Yang Ming was still a virgin. Zhang Bin was more experienced in this regard than Yang Ming. When he saw Yang Ming's appearance, he guessed it in his heart. Don't worry, you will definitely be satisfied. Before Yang Ming could speak, Zhang Bin let go of the lady next to him and walked to the lobby manager, who was actually the procuress. Sir, is there a problem? The lobby manager saw it when the two came in. Zhang Bin was a veteran and Yang Ming was a novice, so she didn't dare to fool Zhang Bin. My buddy came to this kind of place for the first time. Is there any cleaner goods? Asked Zhang Bin. Chapter 106. We do have this, but the price isn't 200 anymore. The lobby manager hesitated and said. I know this. Give me a price. Zhang Bin said. 3,000, it's a virgin. The lobby manager said softly. Virgin. Nothing bad will happen, right? Zhang Bin asked suspiciously. Her dad sent her here personally. He took 2,000 from me, so I added 1,000. It's reasonable. The lobby manager explained. Zhang Bin nodded. Money wasn't a problem. He had more than 10,000 in his pocket. When he was outside, he was most afraid of getting into unnecessary trouble. In Songjiang, Zhang Jifang was considered a boss. He had a lot of authority, but it was different here. Once something happened, it wouldn't be easy to settle it. As for how much the lobby manager earned, Zhang Bin didn't care. Whether it was 1,000 or 2,000, it had nothing to do with him. My uncle is in the stone business here. Don't lie to me. To be on the safe side, Zhang Bin warned the lobby manager. In Tingcheng, those who were in the stone business were usually rich and ruthless people. It was more than enough to deal with a bathing center. How can that be? Don't worry. The lobby manager said with a smile. I'll say this first. If there isn't any blood, I won't give you the 3,000. Zhang Bin said. Don't worry, boss. I guarantee that your brother will be satisfied. I guarantee a virgin's body and a slut's passion. The lobby manager smiled. After a few words, the lobby manager went to arrange it. Zhang Bin smiled at Yang Ming lecherously. Don't worry, brother. I guarantee that you will be satisfied. Men carry guns together, go through windows together, and visit prostitutes together. We have 2 of them. Gaga. Zhang Bin, what did you say to the lobby manager just now? Yang Ming asked even though he already knew. When he saw the lobby manager and Zhang Bin's lips, he already knew what they were talking about. Yang Ming's heart was struggling fiercely. Although he felt that going to prostitution was a little too much, men were animals who thought with the lower half of their body. It was fine to indulge once in a while, right? Was it necessary for her to protect her chastity? For whom? For Chen Mengyan. In the past few days, Yang Ming also understood that Wang Jitao and Chen Mengyan's words were nothing more than him betraying her. It was very likely that they were talking about Lin Jiyun's incident. Since Chen Mengyan didn't trust him, why should he care so much about these things? Therefore, when Yang Ming saw the lobby manager say that there were clean chicks, Yang Ming's heart started to itch again. Yang Ming didn't think that he was a lecher, but he wasn't a loyal person either. Therefore, it also caused him to want Chen Mengyan and even Zhao Ying after sleeping with Lin Jiyun. Looking for a prostitute was actually similar to a one-night stand. The difference was that one spent money and the other didn't. Now that someone was spending money for him, and the other party was a clean girl, Yang Ming didn't mind doing something with her. If it were before, Yang Ming might still hesitate, but now there was no Chen Mengyan's burden. Yang Ming didn't have to do anything for anyone. Since Zhang Bing had put it this way, if he still refused, it would be a little disrespectful to his brother. Zhang Bin might not say anything on the surface, but there would definitely be some unnaturalness between the 2 of them in the future. Therefore, Yang Ming gritted his teeth. It was better to talk to the sister first. If they hit it off, they would naturally go to bed. If they didn't hit it off, he had to pretend. At least, he had to wait until Zhang Bin was done. Hey, I found you a clean one. I heard that she is a virgin. Yang Ming, you are so good. I haven't slept with a virgin yet. Zhang Bin said with an exaggerated expression, I'm telling you. Pay attention to see if there are any drops of blood. If there aren't, I won't give them a penny. Yang Ming was speechless. This is too straightforward. Usually in school, I only knew that this kid was very erotic. He always did sex videos and one-night stands. I didn't expect him to be such a pervert. There was money to be made. The lobby manager was naturally happy. He said to the 2 waiters next to him, what about the little girl that was sent in the morning? She fell asleep after messing around for a while. Said the waiters. Give her a bowl of medicine and send it to the private room upstairs. Ordered the lobby manager. Give her medicine. That's not very good, right? Asked the waiters. What's not good about it? Her father doesn't want her anymore. The lobby manager glared at the waiters and said, you hurry up and do it. The customer already said that if you don't serve her well, you won't get a penny. I know. The waiters saw that the lobby manager was angry. They didn't dare to say anything and immediately did as they were told. After arranging all of this, the lobby manager took Yang Ming and Zhang Bin to the private room upstairs. Of course, it was 2 private rooms. Otherwise, no one would feel good. Every minute of the spring night is worth 1,000 gold. Yang Ming, you have to feel good for a while. There aren't many chances. Zhang Bin said with a lewd smile. In this way, Yang Ming entered the private room half-heartedly. The door was closed with a bang. As soon as he entered the room, Yang Ming felt a hot body leaning toward him. Damn. Yang Ming's first thought was that he was cheated. Is this a pure girl? Listening to Zhang Bin's words, this girl should be a virgin. But, is there a virgin who takes the initiative? Before Yang Ming could react, 2 red lips were on Yang Ming's mouth. She sucked on Yang Ming's lips. Her mouth made some vague and strange sounds. Isn't this too passionate? Yang Ming had some doubts. However, the sweet and fresh smell in the girl's mouth made Yang Ming very infatuated. She shouldn't be too bad, right? Yang Ming comforted himself. Yang Ming just realized that he hadn't kissed before. In this aspect, he was a complete novice. But, if he hadn't kissed before, he would have watched an adult film. Yang Ming followed suit and began to suck on the sweet spring in the girl's mouth. It seemed that this girl was also a novice. Her small tongue was randomly exploring Yang Ming's mouth without any pattern. When she met Yang Ming, who was about the same, the 2 people turned into a tongue game of hide and seek. Want me? When the girl opened her mouth to breathe, she vaguely moaned. However, this vague moan made Yang Ming's blood boil. Damn, this is too seductive. Yang Ming wanted to say something, but the girl's body began to rub against Yang Ming's body. At this time, Yang Ming had a chance to see the beauty in his arms. The girl was about 15 or 16 years old. Her delicate little face had become flushed. The girl closed her eyes tightly. Her small mouth opened and closed. She exhaled hot air on Yang Ming's face, making Yang Ming even more restless. Want me? The girl whispered again. Her hands began to tear Yang Ming's clothes. Damn, are virgins now so proactive? If I don't do it, then won't I be despised? Yang Ming found a reason for himself in his heart. Yes, if I don't do it, I will definitely be despised. Thinking of this, Yang Ming picked up the girl and threw himself on the bed. She quickly took off her clothes, and the young girl's clothes were torn to shreds by her own hands. Ah! The young girl let out a painful groan, her brows furrowed. She was really a virgin. Yang Ming felt a clear sense of barrier. However, the girl only paused for a moment before she began to twist her body actively. Yang Ming looked at the sleeping girl and had a headache. After calming down, he had the time to carefully observe the girl's appearance. Curved eyebrows, long eyelashes, delicate little mouth slightly tilted up, revealing a satisfied smile. Coupled with a head of half-length hair, she looked exactly like a little elf. Strictly speaking, the girl's figure was not very good, but it was very well proportioned. Her chest was not big, but it was very tall and straight. Her smooth skin with a reddish hue after climax was sparkling and translucent. In particular, the girl's madness just now made Yang Ming very fascinated. It was hard to imagine that this cute doll-like girl could be so wild when she did it. Could it be that I have a lolicon? A network noun appeared in Yang Ming's mind. One-night stands, the most taboo thing is to have feelings, and looking for a prostitute is even more so. But Yang Ming seemed to like this little loli. At least he liked to make love with her. Yang Ming was a little distressed. From an objective point of view, he had no feelings for the girl. From a physical point of view, he was very infatuated with this crazy feeling. Moreover, reason told him that this was just a one-night stand. He should pat his butt and leave. Moreover, this little loli might not be an adult yet. Who knows if there would be trouble if he did it with her. Yang Ming was not stupid. From the girl's performance just now, it was obvious that she had been drugged. Just like last time in Earthly Paradise, sex with people was completely out of an instinct to vent. When she woke up, would she cry and make a fuss? Yang Ming regretted it again. How could this be so messed up? Chapter 107. If it was Zhang Bin, he might have already left. In fact, it was so. Zhang Bin had finished his pleasure, but seeing that Yang Ming didn't move, he went back to the room and found a lady to help him loosen his bones. Yang Ming's heart was really contradictory. Subconsciously, he told him to leave quickly. You'll be finished when the girl wakes up. But another deep voice said to himself, she is already your woman. Do you have the heart to leave her here? If you want to be a successful leader, you can't even protect your own woman. How can you fight with Wang Jitao? Forget it, I'm not a local. It's impossible to take her back. At most, I can reason with her and ask her not to do this kind of thing in the future. Don't I still have 20,000 yuan in savings? Take out 10,000 yuan and give it to her. Yang Ming shook his head, put on his clothes and walked out of the room. Zhang Bin just came out of the shower. When he saw Yang Ming, he immediately smiled weirdly. Yang Ming, how was it? Was it good? Yang Ming suddenly met Zhang Bin. He was a little embarrassed, but he nodded. Right, if I take her away, the lobby manager won't say anything, right? No, generally, a virgin is a one-time deal. They only earn the difference. It's not a fixed lady here. Even if she doesn't want to do it, the old maid can't interfere. Zhang Bin said, why, bro? Don't tell me you like her. We'll talk about this later. Help me ask the lobby manager for a box of emergency contraceptive pills. Yang Ming whispered. Damn, you're awesome. You're awesome. Zhang Bin gave a thumbs up. It's the first time I see a whoremonger like you. After sex, you buy contraceptive pills for the lady. She's not a lady. You know, she has no choice. Yang Ming shook his head. It's sold downstairs. I'll accompany you to buy it. Zhang Bin said. Sure enough, on the side of the hall downstairs, there was a counter selling condoms, contraceptive pills, sex toys, and everything. Yang Ming bought a box of Yuding. He was a little embarrassed at first, but he saw a man beside him directly spend money to buy an electric dick. He even picked it up and studied it with a woman beside him. Yang Ming's face instantly became big. How do I use this medicine? Eat the first piece within 72 hours, then eat the second piece after 12 hours. The seller explained. Oh, I know. Yang Ming nodded. At this time, Zhang Bing had finished negotiating with the lobby manager. Sure enough, the young girl had nothing to do with the bath center. It was better that the customer was willing to take her away. It saved the bath center the trouble of cleaning up the aftermath. But Zhang Bin bid 3,500 yuan. Originally, 3,200 yuan would have been enough, but he gave an extra 300 yuan as a tip. The lobby manager was so happy that his face bloomed. He kept praising Zhang Bin's coolness. The lobby manager did not lie. He counted out 2,000 yuan from the middle and put it in an envelope. He said to the cashier at the front desk, give this to the girl surnamed Lon later. Yang Ming knew that the girl's surname was Lon. Feeling the lobby manager's ambiguous eyes behind him, Yang Ming felt a little unnatural. In the room, Lon Ling had already woken up. After Yang Ming went out, she opened her eyes and stared at the closed door. She said faintly, Mom was right. Sure enough, there are no good men. You patted your butt and left, so don't blame me. Originally, Lon Ling thought that Yang Ming was a dead man when the door opened with a click. Lon Ling saw that the man who had just ravaged her was back. It was not appropriate to say that he had ravaged her. Although Lon Ling was forced to take the aphrodisiac, she was still conscious. It seemed that she took more initiative. So Lon Ling made a decision. If this man treated her better afterwards, she would tell him a secret. After all, she was also responsible for this matter. But if he patted his butt and left, then she would let him fend for himself. Seeing Yang Ming come in, Lon Ling subconsciously covered herself with the quilt, leaving only the part of her eyes exposed. She looked at Yang Ming nervously. You're awake? Yang Ming asked awkwardly. Lon Ling did not speak. This is the medicine I bought for you, take it. Yang Ming put the box of birth control pills in front of the bed, and then opened the bottle of mineral water in his hand. You don't want to get pregnant. Lon Ling looked at the birth control pills in front of her, and then looked at Yang Ming. You came back to give me the pills. Yang Ming didn't know how to answer. He nodded and then shook his head. Lon Ling frowned. If this is the case, you can go. I don't need to take the pills. I will deal with it myself. I am actually. Yang Ming gritted his teeth. Damn, isn't it just persuading people? Can you not do this in the future? Then what should I do? Lon Ling asked faintly. But there was a smile at the corner of her mouth. Girls were very concerned about their first time, especially girls like Lon Ling who had received traditional education since childhood. Therefore, in her heart, she was more inclined to think that Yang Ming would be good to her, instead of leaving her here and running away. Because the quilt completely covered Lon Ling's face, Yang Ming couldn't see her expression. He didn't know if she was happy or angry. But since it was decided, Yang Ming said to himself, you should still be in school at this age, right? Although your father doesn't want you, you can earn your own living. I have 10,000 yuan here. You can use it first. As Yang Ming said this, he took out a stack of money from his pocket and put it beside the bed. Fortunately, there was an ATM downstairs. Otherwise, he really didn't know where to get the money at this time. You don't want me? Lon Ling frowned slightly. Is this man good to me or bad to me? Yang Ming was helpless. Why wouldn't he want it? But what should he do after taking it? Bring Lon Ling back to Songjiang. What about Chen Mengyan? I'm not a local. Yang Ming explained. I can go with you. Lon Ling decided to give this man one last chance. If he didn't cherish it, then forget it. Yang Ming hesitated. A girl taking the initiative to let you take her away. This is such a big temptation. But I don't have economic strength and social status. If I take her back, I won't be able to get past my parents first. You don't have to say it. Lon Ling shook her head. It seemed that the man in front of her didn't want to take her away. I didn't mean that. In fact, you can follow me, but I mean that my feelings for you now only stop at liking your body. I don't understand you at all. Yang Ming was anxious and said what was in his heart. This was indeed what he thought. Oh, that's enough. You will slowly fall in love with me. Lon Ling smiled. Her eyes turned into a crescent moon. Why did you come out to sell yourself? I heard that your father doesn't want you anymore. Yang Ming sighed and sat on the bed. Do you think I want to? I was drugged. Lon Ling pulled down the quilt on her face, revealing her charming face with a bit of playfulness. Oh yeah, how old are you? Are you underage? Yang Ming suddenly thought of a very important question. 16 years old. I just became an adult. Don't worry. The police won't arrest you. Lon Ling was a little proud. It turns out that this guy isn't so calm. Hee hee. I didn't mean that. Yang Ming was a little embarrassed when his thoughts were exposed. I mean that underage sex is not good for the growth of the body. Lon Ling didn't argue with him. Then why did you use so much force just now? Aren't you afraid of killing me? Ugh, it was you who was particularly crazy, right? Yang Ming laughed. Do you still want it? Lon Ling suddenly looked at Yang Ming very charmingly. Her blurred eyes directly ignited Yang Ming's desire again. There was no need for words. The two people's bodies intertwined together again. Lon Ling, who didn't have the aphrodisiac effect, was actually crazier than before. This time, her eyes were full of seductive charm. You still say that you don't like me? Then what is this time? After doing it, Lon Ling asked very mischievously. Yang Ming was speechless. If he said that he didn't like her now, then his behavior just now would be a hooligan. Hee hee, it's useless if you don't say it. I can feel what you are thinking in your heart. Lon Ling laid on Yang Ming's body and listened to his heartbeat. Yang Ming was really tempted. The beauty in front of him was enough to tempt any normal man. Her face was as pure as a fairy's, but on the bed, it was strangely wild. The charm and the innocence was one of the highest realms of the best women. How do you know what I'm thinking? Yang Ming was a little embarrassed that his thoughts were exposed. Because you are under my voodoo. Lon Ling said slowly, I can feel your love for me, damn. What? Yang Ming suddenly jumped up from the bed. Did I hit the jackpot? Chapter 108. I'm poisoned with voodoo. Yang Ming jumped up from the bed. Isn't this too unbelievable? I just talked to Zhang Bin about this yesterday, and now it's happening to me. The probability of this happening is even lower than winning the lottery, but I actually got caught up in it. What did you say? I'm poisoned by your voodoo. You harmed me. Yang Ming looked at the girl beside him angrily. You don't have to do this even if you want to restrain your man. Although Yang Ming felt that the man who was poisoned with voodoo deserved it when he read Wesley's novel, it was different when it happened to him. I didn't harm you. It's my mother. Lon Ling said slowly, when I was young, my mother put a voodoo in me. She told me that the voodoo would be transferred to any man who got my body. If the man had a change of heart, he would die, and he would die miserably. Are you serious? Don't lie to me. Yang Ming was surprised. He felt that this was unbelievable. How can I be so unlucky? I didn't lie to you. I'm an authentic Miao person. My mother is a master of voodoo. Lon Ling smiled and said, look at my ID card if you don't believe me. Forget it. How can you remove the voodoo in me? This was the question that Yang Ming was most concerned about. If the voodoo isn't removed, what will happen to Qin Mengyan? I can't remove it. Only my mother can remove it. Lon Ling shook her head and said proudly. Then let's go find your mother. Yang Ming suggested. My mother is already dead. Lon Ling suddenly said very dejectedly, our family was originally very happy, but, seeing Lon Ling's disappointed look, Yang Ming didn't continue to ask about the voodoo. Lon Ling talked about her experience. My mother passed away when I was 6 years old. She was killed by my father. My father likes to gamble. He gambled everything in our family and lost everything. After that, he lost everything and wanted to use my mother to pay off the debt. He made my mother sleep with one of his gambling friends. Just like that, my mother was humiliated by that person and committed suicide. Doesn't your mother know voodoo? Yang Ming was a little curious. How could such a person be insulted? Yes, my mother warned that person, but that person didn't listen. In the end, that person also died. He was killed by my mother. Lan Ling sighed. But mother. Lan Ling's voice was choked with sobs. The dead can't be brought back to life. Don't be sad, Yang Ming quickly consoled. He didn't expect that this fairy-like girl had such a sad past behind her. I'm not sad. Before my mother died, she told me that there are no good men in this world. She was afraid that I would be bullied by a heartless man in the future, so she planted a heart voodoo on me. Lan Ling shook her head. Ha, are you still going to leave me? Of course not. Yang Ming said firmly. This time, there was no hesitation. Indeed, he agreed to let Lan Ling stay with him because of his guilt and fear of the heart voodoo. But now, Yang Ming had an impulse to pity this girl for the rest of her life. She was too pitiful. Both mother and daughter were betrayed by their father. Originally, Yang Ming thought that Lan Ling's mother was just a psychopath who had nothing better to do. Now, he understood why Lan Ling's mother did this. That man wasn't human. Yang Ming hugged Lan Ling tightly in his arms. At this moment, he knew that he really liked this girl in his arms. Forget it, I'll take one step at a time. Yang Ming was a little helpless. If this heart voodoo wasn't solved, then wouldn't his relationship with Chen Mengyan be better? You're thinking about another woman. Lan Ling suddenly said faintly. Yang Ming didn't expect Lan Ling to notice this. He was just thinking about Chen Mengyan. You have a girl that you like? Lan Ling asked. Yes, I don't want to lie to you. Yang Ming hesitated and said seriously, I admit that I like you a little now, but it doesn't mean that I can forget about others. I already have someone that I liked before, and my feelings for her are much deeper than yours. Then what do you want to do? Lan Ling asked back. Her expression was very cute, as if this matter had nothing to do with her. Your mother knows how to use voodoo. You should know a little too, right? Can you help me to solve this heart voodoo? Yang Ming clenched his teeth and asked. I know a little, but this voodoo is very mysterious. Only the person who used the voodoo can solve the voodoo. Lan Ling said, not to mention that I only know a little. Yang Ming didn't expect her to solve the voodoo. He would think of a way in the future. So he changed the topic. What's your name? Lan Ling said, what about you? My name is Yang Ming. Yang Ming smiled and said, nice to meet you. Lan Ling was speechless. This guy is really shameless. He did this to me, and then hugged me and said nice to meet me. What is this? I'm just kidding. It's a nice name. Yang Ming saw Lan Ling's expression and knew what she was thinking. Really? I followed my mother's surname. Lan Ling shook her head. But it wasn't easy for your father to raise you to this age before selling you. Yang Ming felt that this matter was very strange. Do you think he wanted to? Lan Ling said angrily, wasn't it because I could help him gamble? You helped him gamble? What's going on? Yang Ming asked. I have a strange ability since I was young. It can be said to be intuition. Lan Ling thought about it and said, for example, when I was in school, you gave me a multiple-choice test paper. I didn't look at the questions at all and answered the questions based on my intuition. The accuracy rate could reach more than 90%. It was because of this intuition that my father didn't sell me. He took me to help him gamble. Yang Ming was stunned. He knew that many people had the innate ability to foresee. It was known as the sixth sense. This feeling could predict the ominous luck of some things. He didn't expect Lan Ling to be such a person. Yang Ming suddenly felt that encountering Lan Ling wasn't so unlucky. Did I pick up a treasure? If I had Lan Ling's keen intuition and my own ability, it would be difficult to not become rich in the future. But the problem was Lan Ling's sixth sense really accurate? But if this was the case, wouldn't your father become rich? Why did he keep losing money? Yang Ming couldn't understand. It was accurate at the beginning. But as time went by, I needed to rest. Then, there would be a deviation. But my father gambled for a day and a night. In the end, I couldn't feel anything at all. Lan Ling said with self-deprecation. Yang Ming nodded. A person like her father could be regarded as the best among gamblers. Most people would quit while they were ahead. It was rare to see someone like her father, who could lose so much that he sold his money tree. Maybe he thought that it didn't matter if his daughter was fucked. She could still help him gamble in the future. Yang Ming and Lan Ling lingered for a while before they got up. After putting on her clothes, Lan Ling returned to her petite and cute appearance. He couldn't imagine her seductive appearance on the bed at all. Zhang Bin was already done. He was sitting in the lobby downstairs and joking with the lady. When he saw Yang Ming coming down, especially when he saw Lan Ling beside Yang Ming, he couldn't help but be stunned. Bro, you fucked a loli. What loli? My name is Lan Ling. Lan Ling immediately corrected him. Yang Ming broke into a sweat. Didn't Lan Ling hear the word loli? She thought that the loli in Zhang Bin's mouth was an incorrect pronunciation, Lan Ling oh. Hello. Zhang Bin was also sweating. How is this possible? The cashier at the front desk handed an envelope with 2,000 yuan to Lan Ling. Lan Ling didn't look at it and pushed it back. She said to the cashier, "My father is here. You can give this money to him. Just say that I'm gone. I have nothing to do with him from now on." After that, she pulled Yang Ming out of the bath center. Although Lan Ling's mouth had a faint smile, Yang Ming knew that she was actually very sad. She was betrayed by her father for 2 yuan. Her feelings were imaginable. Yang Ming patted Lan Ling's shoulder. Lan Ling smiled at him and shook her head, indicating that she was fine. Zhang Bin at the side didn't know the story, but he was envious. Damn, bro, you're so awesome. You're already flirting. Fuck off. Yang Ming said in a bad mood, "It's all because of you. Damn it, how am I going to explain to Qin Mengyan when I go back? I'll keep it a secret for you." Zhang Bin quickly patted his chest and said, "Keep it a secret. Is it useful to keep it a secret? The key question is, what about the voodoo?" Chapter 109. When they came out, there were 2 of them. When they went back, there were 3 of them. 2 grown men with a little girl, especially Lan Ling, who was too young, made the taxi driver look at them with suspicion. It was no wonder. 2 men bringing a little loli to a hotel. Anyone would be suspicious of this. Since Lan Ling joined them, Yang Ming couldn't stay in the same room as Zhang Bin. Therefore, they agreed that Zhang Bin would stay in Zhang Jifang's room. Yang Ming and Lan Ling would stay in their original room. However, when Zhang Bin asked the waiter to help him open Zhang Jifang's room door, the waiter was suspicious. "Who are you to him?" "I'm his son. Didn't you know that during the registration?" Zhang Bin said with dissatisfaction. "Are you sure you want to go in?" The waiter asked with suspicion. "If I don't go in, where am I going to sleep?" Zhang Bin wasn't happy. "You better listen to the door before you decide." The waiter reminded him with good intentions. "What do you mean?" Zhang Bin was confused, but he still put his ear to the door. "Ah. Use more force. Faster." It was a perverted female voice. You're so flirtatious. It was Zhang Jifang's voice. Damn. Zhang Bin scolded, didn't you drink too much? Yang Ming was laughing at the side. This father and son are so alike. Lan Ling heard it too. She was laughing too. This little girl looks so pure, but her heart is. Are you saying she's a pervert? That's not right either. I can only say that she's more focused when she's doing it. Zhang Bin couldn't just go in and disturb his father, right? If that's the case, his future pocket money would be gone. Wait, maybe my pocket money will increase because of this. Zhang Bin's face suddenly showed an evil smile. Yang Ming, do you think my father will increase my pocket money in the future since I caught him? Damn. You're so cruel. You even tricked your own father. Yang Ming didn't know what to say. Ha! If we don't scheme against him, who else would we scheme against? Zhang Bin said matter-of-factly. Let's get another room. Unfortunately, there were no vacant rooms here. These 2 rooms were reserved by Wu Fatsai in advance. What to do? Zhang Bin looked at Yang Ming with a bitter expression. There's no other way. Let's share a room with 3 people. Lan Ling and I will share a bed. Yang Ming said helplessly. He couldn't possibly kick out the master, Zhang Bin, right? Lan Ling was a little unhappy. If the 3 of them were together, she wouldn't be able to be intimate with Yang Ming. She pouted as if Zhang Bin owed her money. Zhang Bin also saw that Lan Ling was unhappy. He said shamelessly, you and Yang Ming can do whatever you want at night. Just pretend that I'm not here. Damn, you still want to watch an erotic reality show. Yang Ming said disdainfully, if you have the ability, go to your father's room and watch. That's a good idea. But with my father's body shape, I'm not interested. Zhang Bin sighed. After Lan Ling took a shower, she got into Yang Ming's bed. Only her small head was exposed outside. She kept winking at Yang Ming. What's wrong with you? Yang Ming asked strangely. Aya, come here. Lan Ling said. Yang Ming went to bed puzzledly. Lan Ling whispered, I miss you. What should I do? At night, Yang Ming was sleeping. He felt Lan Ling's petite hot body climbing onto his body. Lan Ling's underwear was gone. This girl was taking off Yang Ming's underwear. What are you going to do? Yang Ming suddenly became sober. Shoo. Lan Ling made a shushing gesture. Then she slowly sat on Yang Ming's body, hiss. Yang Ming felt so comfortable that he almost shouted, you don't want to live anymore. Zhang Bin is over there. Don't make a sound. Lan Ling said. She bit her lip and moved her body up and down. It was obvious that this girl also wanted to make a sound, but she was holding it in. Yang Ming suddenly felt a different kind of excitement. Damn, it seems that I really have the potential to have an affair. Last time, it was Chen Mengyan who helped me take the plane. Zhang Bin was sitting next to me. This time it was with Lan Ling. Zhang Bin was also on the side. Slow down. Yang Ming couldn't stand Lan Ling's craziness. He was afraid that the movement was too loud and would wake Zhang Bin up. No. Lan Ling said as she sped up her movement. Ah. Lan Ling couldn't help but let out a soft cry. Yang Ming was scared and quickly kissed her, woo-woo. Although Lan Ling's mouth made a woo-woo sound, her movements didn't slow down. Suddenly, Lan Ling shivered and collapsed on Yang Ming's body. What is it? You got all wet on me. Yang Ming was a little puzzled. Sorry. I couldn't help but pee. Lan Ling was a little embarrassed. Ah. Yang Ming had watched adult movies before. Naturally, he knew what was going on. He didn't expect Lan Ling to be such a jerk. Don't move. Don't take it out. Just sleep like this. Lan Ling saw that Yang Ming was about to move and immediately stopped him. But I have to wipe my body. How can I sleep when it's wet? Yang Ming was a little helpless. So be it. I don't even dislike it. Lan Ling said seriously. Yang Ming was speechless. No one said that they didn't mind. It was just a little uncomfortable. The next morning, while Zhang Bin was not up, Lan Ling repeated the same trick again. Even Yang Ming couldn't take it. Lan Ling's obsession with sex could be described as crazy. Yang Ming wrapped Lan Ling in a quilt and carried her into the bathroom. The two people took a shower and got dressed. Looking back at the mess on the bed sheet, Lan Ling quickly covered it with the quilt. Don't worry about it. The service staff will change the room in a while. Zhang Bin suddenly said. Ah. Lan Ling was shocked and her face immediately turned red. Yang Ming thought, it's not that she doesn't know how to be shy. She's just more casual with me. You saw it. Yang Ming was a little embarrassed. I didn't see it, but you were so loud. Do you think I'm dead? Zhang Bin complained, you made me angry. I can't take it anymore. I have to take a cold shower. After Zhang Bin went into the bathroom, Lan Ling stuck her tongue out at Yang Ming. Yang Ming shook his head, indicating that it was fine. Fortunately, he wrapped Lan Ling in a quilt when he carried her, or else she would be exposed. During breakfast, Yang Ming and Zhang Jifang were refreshed. Only Zhang Bin had 2 dark circles. Zhang Jifang was puzzled by Lan Ling's sudden appearance. Yang Ming had to explain that she was his girlfriend. She was worried about him, so she came to find him. Zhang Jifang heard and started to scold Zhang Bin, look at Yang Ming. It's good to have a girlfriend. What about you? Motherfucker, if he's not doing a one-night stand, then he's going out to look for prostitutes. Can't you do something more serious? I want to do something serious. Yesterday, I wanted to show my style and give the room to Yang Ming. But when I walked to your room door, I was scared back. Zhang Bin said indifferently. You came to my room. What? Zhang Jifang was stunned. His face changed, and he immediately changed the topic. Zhang Bin, it's rare that Yang Ming's girlfriend came. Later, Dad will give you 20,000 yuan. You have to treat her well. Okay. No problem, but 20,000 yuan isn't enough, right? Later, we have to give Yang Ming and the others another room. Zhang Bin said. Okay, how much do you want from this cart? But the limit is 20,000 a day. Zhang Jifang was helpless. He gave Zhang Bin another card. The password is your mom's birthday. Hey, Dad, are you so afraid of Mom? Even the password of the card is set to her birthday. Zhang Bin didn't forget to provoke Zhang Jifang. When you go home, don't tell your mom that I didn't take you to play. Zhang Jifang hinted. What kind of son is this? He only knows how to bully his dad. No problem. Hee hee. Zhang Bin held back his laughter and nodded. After breakfast, Zhang Bin told the front desk that if someone checked out, leave a room for him. Then, clean up yesterday's room. Zhang Bin wasn't interested in jade gambling at all. He was dragged along by Yang Ming and Zhang Jifang. According to this kid's intention, you guys go, I'll go back to my room to sleep. But how could Zhang Jifang let go of this opportunity for his son to learn? Not only did he drag him along, but Zhang Jifang also talked about jade on the way to Wu Fatsai's warehouse. Zhang Bin wasn't interested at all. Instead, Yang Ming listened attentively and asked a few questions. While Zhang Jifang was explaining to him, he couldn't help but scold his son. Chapter 110. How was it? Did you sleep well last night? Wu Faozai shook hands with Zhang Jifeng enthusiastically. Zhang Jifeng looked at his son's sneaky smile and laughed dryly. Not bad, not bad. The weather here is neither too hot nor too cold. I was worried that you wouldn't be used to it. Wu Faozai laughed. It seems that your complexion is good. How about we find a place to have some fun tonight? Ugh, cough asterisk, the kids are here. Don't talk nonsense. Zhang Jifeng's worst fears came true. Let the kids play by themselves. Let's go massage them. Wu Faozai obviously didn't take Zhang Bin seriously. Zhang Jifeng tried to signal Wu Faozai with his eyes. Wu Faozai then understood and whispered to Zhang Jifeng, "Are you a henpecked husband?" Hee hee, hee hee. Zhang Jifeng laughed dryly. Let's pick the stones first. Wu Faozai knew that this topic couldn't be continued, so he quickly got down to business. Let's go. Boss Wu, can you lower the price a little? Zhang Jifeng said as he walked, Isn't 500 a little too expensive? It's not expensive. Wu Faozai smiled bitterly and said, Currently, the raw stones that come to Tingchong are all directly transported from the mines in Myanmar through private connections. It's considered smuggling in Myanmar. When they are transported to China, they have to declare to the customs and be registered as legal imports. Therefore, the transportation price is very high. The transportation cost of a kilogram of uncut stones has increased from a few yuan to 200 yuan now. Including the transportation cost and the 33% tariff, do you think 500 is expensive? The cost isn't more than 300 yuan. Isn't your profit too high? Zhang Jifeng laughed. How about 400 yuan? 400 won't do. We are old friends. How about this? 450 yuan. How about that? Wu Faozai said with difficulty. Okay. 450 yuan it is. Let's pick the stones. Zhang Jifeng nodded. You want to gamble on stones too? Lan Ling didn't speak along the way. She was like a well-behaved child. Zhang Jifeng even suspected that Yang Ming had a girlfriend who was underage. But after Zhang Bin's explanation, he believed that Lan Ling was an adult. Yang Ming had the same thought. Lan Ling was too cute. No one would treat her as a 16-year-old girl at first glance. When Zhang Jifeng walked in front of her, Lan Ling asked softly. Why do you say that? Yang Ming was curious about Lan Ling's thoughts. You asked so many questions in the car. Could it be that you were just curious? Lan Ling smiled. I heard that you can get rich overnight. I don't really understand. Let's take a look first. There was no need for Yang Ming to hide anything from Lan Ling. I can help you try. However, I can't give you too much. If I give you too much, it won't be accurate, Lan Ling whispered. You? Yang Ming suddenly remembered Lan Ling's ability, the strange sixth sense. Although it couldn't be compared to his own special ability, it was still much stronger than an ordinary person's. Lan Ling nodded proudly as if she was showing off something. Right, I forgot about your ability. Yang Ming nodded too. However, he seemed to have thought of something and said softly, Lan Ling, don't tell others about your ability. The fewer people who know about it, the better. Besides my father, only you know about it. Lan Ling rolled her eyes at Yang Ming. Do you think I'm a fool? I can tell others about it. I'm afraid that some people with ulterior motives would harm you, Yang Ming said worriedly. So, you're worried about me? Lan Ling seemed to be very happy after hearing Yang Ming's words. Yes. Of course, I'm worried about you. If you died, what would happen to the voodoo in my body? Wouldn't I be a bachelor for the rest of my life? Yang Ming smiled. Idiot. Lan Ling looked at Yang Ming and said coquettishly. Idiot? How am I an idiot? Yang Ming was confused. I'm not telling you. Lan Ling smiled mischievously. Yang Ming didn't know what Lan Ling meant. However, since she wasn't willing to say, Yang Ming didn't ask further. Yang Ming's feelings towards Lan Ling were very strange. It could be said that it was sex before love. Of course, it was more of a pity. Lan Ling's appearance was too cute. Anyone who saw her would feel pity for her. Do you want eyes? Yang Ming and a few others just arrived at the distribution center of the warehouse. A few locals surrounded them. Eyes? Yang Ming was stunned. What eyes? Hee, jargon. Wu Fatsai, who wasn't far away, explained, the so-called eyes are people who identify jades. They are more experienced and earn commission. Zhang Jifang hired a person to be an eye. However, this kind of thing was just for psychological comfort. The eyes judged based on their feelings. If they were accurate, they would have done it themselves. Why would they need to be someone else's eye? In Wu Fatsai's company, there were a few warehouses that were the size of a classroom. Basically, the uncut stones were piled up on the floor. Beside each pile of uncut stones was a basin of water and a table lamp. According to Zhang Jifang, these were used to identify the stones for the customers. Next to the wall of the warehouse, there was a row of iron filing cabinets. The cabinets were also used to store raw stones. The quality of the raw stones inside were slightly better. Besides Zhang Jifang, there was a group of people who were selecting raw stones. This group of people had their own eyes. At this moment, they had already selected about 70 to 80 raw stones. Zhang Jifang didn't hold back. He pulled the newly hired eyes and started to work. Lan Ling wanted to take action, but she was stopped by Yang Ming. He shook his head slightly at her. Lan Ling immediately understood. Yang Ming was worried that she would be in the limelight. When we leave later, just pick up 1 or 2 pieces. Don't attract attention. Yang Ming didn't mind being in the limelight, but he was afraid that his woman would attract unnecessary trouble. Lan Ling nodded. She looked at Yang Ming with eyes full of love. In this world, there was finally someone who cared about her sincerely. Lan Ling was very happy. It seemed that Yang Ming already had her in his heart. This made Lan Ling very happy. Lan Ling had an impulse to tell Yang Ming the truth, but she was afraid that if she told him, Yang Ming wouldn't like her anymore. This is so contradictory. Ah! Jade. It's the heart of a jade. Another group of people who were gambling on jade suddenly shouted, "We're rich. We're rich." Zhang Jifang immediately looked at them with envy. Gambling on jade was like this. If you were lucky, you could get a few million in an instant. But it was useless to be envious. You couldn't snatch it back from someone else. Wu Fatsai had seen this kind of thing many times. He didn't put it in his heart. He had an indifferent expression. He earned a steady amount of money. He wasn't envious of these people gambling on jade. If he was envious, he could just gamble on his own. Why would he sell the uncut stones? Is jade very valuable? Yang Ming looked at the other party's excited expression and asked a very simple question. Yes, of course it's valuable. Zhang Jifang said with envy, his piece could be sold for more than 2 million. With this piece of stone, not only did he get his capital back, but he could also make a lot of money. This is the price without polishing it. If he further processed it, he could at least make a pair of bracelets and 2 jade pendants. The price could go up to 5 million. Yang Ming listened and took a deep breath. A piece of broken stone could be sold for 5 million. What kind of concept was this? Marx had a famous saying, if a capitalist had 50% profit, he would take risks. If he had 100% profit, he would dare to trample all the laws of the world. If he had a 300% profit, he would dare to risk the gallows. But comparing 500 pieces to 5 million, it was a 10,000% profit. No wonder so many people were interested in gambling on stones. Then isn't this line of business very profitable? Yang Ming was surprised. Yes, but in this pile of stones, it would be good if there was a piece of jade. Wu Fatsai laughed. If jade was so easy to come out, I would just throw the stones away and keep them for myself. Yang Ming nodded. He remembered the general appearance of the jade and the difference between it and other jade. He started to scan the pile of uncut stones. Wu Fatsai was right. Jade was very rare. Among these uncut stones, there was a lot of pure jade. But Yang Ming didn't know much about this line of business. At this moment, he had made up his mind to go to the bookstore to buy some related books. He would study it at night. Suddenly, Yang Ming saw a piece of jade in the pile of uncut stones. Yes, it was jade. But this piece of jade wasn't as big as the one just now. It was only 1/3 of the size. Also, the quality wasn't as good. But even so, Yang Ming was satisfied. Such a small piece, even if it wasn't as valuable as the big one, but according to what Zhang Jifang said, it could be made into 1 or 2 jade pendants. It was worth at least a few 100,000. Thinking about this, Yang Ming was excited. In his life, this was the first time he felt that wealth was so close to him. Everything seemed to be at his fingertips. Yang Ming pretended to be calm and went to the pile of waste that had been picked up by people. You're tuning in to the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.